And welcome to Alumni Field down at the University of Windsor campus in Windsor, Ontario, Canada for the OFC Game of the Week live on WeTV. It's the London Beefeaters taking on the Windsor FRATMEN. And we say hello again, everybody. I'm Aaron Sanders. This is Buddy Kawaz, the doctor of football here in the Windsor-Essex County. We begin the story by talking about the London Beefeaters, Buddy. A good 2-1 record. This is a three-way dance for second place in the OFC conference. And the Beefeaters, they're looking good so far.
They are looking good, and they are probably going to be the team in the fold to either take over second place or possibly even dethrone either AKO, the Fratmen here, or the Hurricanes.
And one of the main reasons is because the OFC Player of the Week, Tazzy Vang Bell, he had a good running game last week. Can't expect anything different from them tonight.
London, if they're smart, which so far they've proven to be so, guess what? Don't outcoach yourself. Think play or not play. Give it to your playmakers, and good things will happen.
And for the Windsor FRATMEN, they also got a 2-1 record, too. And last week, they came off a good victory, 52-9 against the Ottawa Sooners. So, once again, Mike's LeChance magic is working, especially with their dual quarterbacks, Dan Mayu and Colton Allen.
Yeah, they're getting some game experience, and that game experience is turning into some first downs and some scores right now. So as long as they keep that going and they wrinkle in some good running plays, I think the Fratmen are going to find some balance on their offense.
And we're going to see what unfolds here tonight from Alumni Field. Once again, the London Beefeaters against the Windsor FRATMEN. Buddy Kawaz and Justin Prince will be on the call for you when we return here from Windsor, Ontario in just a moment. You're watching Windsor FRATMEN football on WeTV.
Windsor started a tradition way back of giving us great barbecue north of the border, and you can taste that tradition when you come to Tommy's Barbecue. Dive into Tommy's rotisserie-style ribs and chicken, along with the crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, and the original hot and sweet sauces. Plus all those amazing desserts like Black Forest cake and strawberry cheesecake. Taste the tradition and so much more at Tommy's Barbecue, 999 Erie Street East. See you there, Windsor.
The fans continue to file on in as it's time for a cool night of football live from Windsor, Ontario from Alumni Field at the University of Windsor campus. Tonight, it's the London Beefeaters and the Windsor AKO Fratmen in the OUFC Game of the Week. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside me is Badi Kwaz for what should be a very intense matchup. Both of these teams 2-1, both of them fighting to try and get to second in the standings.
Absolutely, Justin. And the key here is going to be which team is going to keep their composure, which team is going to stay within their game plan the longest, and which team's going to actually possess the ball and not turn it over. Pretty simple. These two teams are really fighting for that second place right now behind Hamilton. Should be a good matchup.
It absolutely should. London will be wearing their blue jerseys with the Red Sox and will be the ones kicking off. The Fratmen wear their white and black jerseys tonight. Kickoff time about 7:02 p.m. Eastern Time as we're underway from Windsor, Ontario. Going to be returned down the side by Marcus Cooper. Breaks towards the right sideline. Down he goes by about the 50 as he's knocked out at the 52-yard line. Make that the 51.
A fortunate bounce on that short kickoff. It took a nice, gentle hop into the arms of Marcus Cooper. He was able to gather it in as if he caught it in the air, worked his way up that right sideline, and as you said, sets the Fratmen up with great field position at the 51.
And that sets up the Fratmen offense for their first possession of the game. Daniel Mayu will be the quarterback to start things off tonight. He and Colton Allen have been sharing time at the QB slot all season long so far. First and 10 at the 51-yard line. Mayu passes on first and 10, throws it deep, caught around the 35. It's a foot race, the 10, the 5, touchdown Fratmen. Dante Lewis with his first touchdown catch of the night on pass number 1.
That is an absolutely perfect start if you're a fan of Windsor, and that is the worst possible start if you are a fan of the visiting Beefeaters here. The Fratmen just must have seen something on film in that sort of slot look. There was no hesitation. You have Dante Lewis going right up that B-seam slot here, and you'll see on the replay, quarterback does a good job of making sure he throws it to the outside shoulder of the receiver, and the receiver perfectly adjusts out, slides, catches the ball with his hands, and Dante Lewis walks into the end zone. They had man coverage across the board, and the extra point is actually good now that we get back to live action here. And the Fratmen run one play from scrimmage, turns into a 59-yard touchdown, and what a great start for the home team.
Absolutely picture-perfect start, too, for the Fratmen. And for when it comes to London Beefeaters, their head coach Chris Marshall earlier this week had talked about not wanting to allow those kind of big plays from the Fratmen, and then you see that happen right on the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, I'm confident that he wants the Fratmen to prove that they can actually march down the field and take 5-6 first downs, 5-6 minutes, and drive it in. He thinks that the only way the Fratmen can stay in this game is probably with explosive plays. He thinks his defense can negate the every down, but right off the hop, the Fratmen make them pay with a huge first opening play.
The Fratmen will set up for their first kickoff of the night. Andrew Beaton, the special teams player of the week for the OFC, will get things back underway. Returned by the Beefeaters as it bounces around the 10-yard line. Brought around the center side of the field, trying to go through a crowd. Still bouncing around, still gets to about the 37. Finally tackled at the 37. Noah Olenek is the one on the return. Let's look at your OFC standings as the Beefeaters set up for the first drive. As mentioned, the Hamilton Hurricanes lead after starting off the season 3-0 so far. The Fratmen and the Beefeaters are tied up at 2-1, as well as the Ottawa Sooners after last week's matchup. And then you have the Niagara Regional Raiders and GTA Grizzlies at 0-3. One of them will break that losing spell next Sunday, Sunday. With that, it's time for the first drive for the Beefeaters. Clark McCollum will set up at the quarterback spot. 1st and 10. He passes on 1st and 10. Down the sideline to the outside. It's incomplete. Intended for Luke Torigny, as that's going to be 2nd down.
Yeah, and quarterback had him. This time around, it just sort of sunk to the inside. The wind is going to push towards that Beefeater sideline. And as you'll see here on the replay, clean pocket. Quarterback knows where he's going right off the get-go, but the ball sailed way too far inside toward the numbers, and the receiver could not adjust fast enough as he was trying to run that outside fade route. And ideally, you'd like that over the outside part of the shoulder.
Pierce, apologies for that. It was Spencer Foster who is the intended receiver on the left outside. As 2nd and 10, they'll pass again. McCollum scrambles forward, throws it on the motion, it's complete. Caught around the 53-yard line, now move the sticks on the completion to Cody Young.
Excellent composure from the quarterback. McCallum was able to step up into the pocket, slide to his right. You'll see here as he sets, he sees the pressure comes from his outside, works his way up, and then to his right, finds his receiver. Whatever the rules are, most of the time on scramble rules, they have things working back to the quarterback, and they get a first down out of it.
That was Vilhora, who he shed a tackle off before scrambling to the right. 1st and 10, about the 52 as they go on the ground this time, but immediately stopped. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was an outstanding job by the Fratmen's number 55, Valhora. He was able to skate right down from his defensive end spot and track that down. That ball carrier is the ball carrier that I know the Beefeaters want to get in the ball in their hands as much as possible, because they believe he's extremely talented and can really be a game difference maker if he gets enough touches.
Absolutely. 2nd and about 9 coming up here for the London Beefeaters. About 2.5 minutes into action here in Windsor. As McCollum overthrows the pass to the outside, it's incomplete.
Missed opportunity. Good route by the receiver. He really turned that corner inside out, and he was able to get a nice deep route. It's about 15 yards, and you'll see here on the right, he was wide open, but the quarterback just sailed it over him. There was not a defender really who could have undercut that or anything. That ball's on him. He catches it, taps his toe, out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, first down. Missed opportunity by the quarterback and the Beefeaters.
And that brings out the special teams unit now for the Beefeaters. Going back to kick is their kicker punter, Cole Spearing, as he'll punt this off from about the 43-yard line. Return down the left side as Marcus Cooper has to chase it down. Bounces into the end zone. Runs it just outside the end zone as he bounces around. Slides backwards. Where are they going to spot this? Will this be a rouge?
No,
it looks like at a goal line.
It's going to come out to the 20. He did indeed field it in the end zone. And what happened was he never went back into the end zone. You'll see here. Unfortunately, he didn't catch it in the air. It took a bounce in the favor of the Beefeaters. So Marcus goes back there. He's going to handle the ball. Once he breaks the end zone, he's in live play. Now, the ball never went back into the end zone. His foot did, but the ball didn't. And because the ball didn't go completely back into the end zone, that means he broke the plane of the goal line, and the punt into the end zone results in scrimmaging at the 20-yard line once he gets it out of the end zone.
Perfect explanation on that one as that moves it to the 20-yard line with 11:40 to go in the first quarter. Mayu still in at quarterback, has a fullback to his left side. This time they'll run on 1st and 10. Trying to move forward and able to gain about 3 or 4. It looks like it's Samuel Shiani who gets those yards.
Actually, I think it was number 27. It might have been
Thank you very
Nash
much.
Prier.
That is Nash Prier, pardon me.
Yeah, and I mean, just a little inside zone running play. The Beefeaters actually guessed. They brought an extra man to the party, so Nash was able to make a man miss in the backfield and pick up a couple yards. But they're set with a double slot set here with a fullback, a new fullback in the mix this week.
Here's 2nd and 8 at the 22-yard line as Mayu goes to the right outside corner. It's complete. Caught just about the sticks, and that may be enough for a first down to Omar Hayes-Williams.
Wow, what a risky throw. A deep throw from the left hash all the way to the right. But he dropped this thing in and right over the corner and under the safety. Good job by the receiver making the catch and getting the first down. But what a dangerous throw, but an accurate throw.
I thought that was going to get picked up possibly by Cody McRoberts there with how close that was. 1st and 10 at the 32. Mayu hands it off again to Prier. As he is tackled for a gain of about 5, it'll be 2nd down at about the 36.
And that was a good surge by the offensive line because that time Nash did not get touched until about 2 yards through the line of scrimmage, and then it converged on him. And if the Fratmen can find some balance like that with their offensive line and run game, picking up 5, making it short and medium, this offense is going to be quite effective and quite efficient and very dangerous as the season progresses.
2nd and 6 at the 32-yard line. 2 slot backs on the play as Mayu looks right, floats it deep, single man coverage, it's complete. It's to Devin Woods, jukes out the corner, down to the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown, Fratmen. Devin Woods, who has missed time for the past few weeks, on his first catch from scrimmage, gets it to the end zone on a big play by the Fratmen.
Yeah, what a monster play there, and welcome back to the full Devin Woods. Not only did you adjust to a ball, he catches it, and you'll see here on the replay, the O-line, kudos. They gave the quarterback a clean pocket. Mayu throws it outside. You see Devin slow down, adjust, makes his man miss, protects the ball, and then he just works right to the corner. And he's fast enough, athletic enough, and he knew he was going to get in there. And then he's just dancing a little prime time as the extra point now makes its way through. And the Fratmen, 2 explosive plays, exactly what Coach Marshall did not want to have happen, Justin, has just happened.
What do you do as a coach to try and adjust to that explosiveness? Because now it's 14-0, and we're just past 5 minutes into the first quarter.
Well, I'd like to possibly loosen my coverage out. Give up some of the run underneath initially until they can prove they can really bust the big runs. Maybe bracket the outside a little bit, especially with Devin because he is talented, but maybe not this early. But get out of this press coverage and get off the line a little bit. Let your defensive back see a little bit more of the quarterback throw. Now, good on the coaches from AKO. The Fratmen are actually just setting 3 steps and throwing, and that's giving the offensive line enough time to sort of set the blocks, and the quarterback's releasing it in a clean pocket. Good on them.
Good on them as we're getting underway once again with another kickoff by Beaton. He'll hit a line drive to about the 15. Bobbled by the returner. Juking around the 25. Now pushes to about the 32. As it's going to be decent field position for the London Beefeaters to start their second drive.
Yeah, and that was Olenek again, and they're making a concerted effort to kick away from Taz Van Bell, who is the other return man. Taz Van Bell is a very, very talented player, so they want to keep that ball away from him. They're more than happy to let Olenek return that. Even though he got to the 32-yard line, he did bobble it. It could have been a little worse for them, but they do have decent field position. Let's see if the offense can take some pressure off their defense, if the Beefeaters can actually get a few first downs and maybe score.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line as we're approaching 6 minutes into the first quarter. And we have whistles thrown right as the play goes off. This one might be going back, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I saw movement on both sides. I saw defensive end move, and I also saw slot receiver cross the line. So we'll see how they go. And there's the indication from our head referee, and that gives us a chance to introduce our referees, and we'll get the call.
Procedure. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And that's the voice of referee Brent Webster wearing number 8. Our umpire is Alex Jemmy. Number 74, head linesman Corey Cousins, 24. Line judge is Don Hollerhead wearing number 12. Todd Whited in 92 is the field judge. Side judge is Joe Cooper wearing number 9. And number 11 is Trevor Hayes. He is the back judge for today's game.
Lots of good officials as part of the crew once again tonight. As whistles called before the play starts, it looks like they might have to reset the play.
All right, so that's going to be Corey Cousins coming in to talk to Brent Webster just to make sure everything's all set. It is indeed first down because it was a dead ball foul, making sure that the sticks and chains are all settled in. And you got Clark McCallum, who's just going to try to settle his crew so that way they can move the sticks, but they're behind the sticks already after the penalty.
McCallum sets up 1st and 15. Quick play to Young. Young to the left side corner, has the first down, pushed out at about the 50-yard line as it'll be 1st and 10 once again for London.
Yeah, that's an excellent job of taking advantage of a situation. You get a slot receiver who is going to be just leaking out as if he's a running back. He comes in and does a little flare out. Linebacker does not have an opportunity to get a great enough angle on him, and it's just a foot race, and he got all the way outside, and he was forced to get out around midfield, and that gives them a good first down after taking that 5-yard penalty to start the drive.
1st and 10 now at the 50-yard line. Has 3 slot backs set up for the Beefeaters. McCallum going to hand it off to his back, rushing towards the edge. Tazzy Vane Bell breaks off one tackle, whistles thrown, as this is going to be out of bounds for a loss, but there are multiple flags on the tackle attempt for the Fratmen.
If I had a flag, I'd have thrown it too, because that was a face mask, no question about it. They're going to go back to the line of scrimmage, move up 15 yards. There's unquestionable. You'll see here on the replay. Running back's just going to work on the outside here, and no doubt about it. You get the face mask right there, turns his head sideways, very dangerous play. And we're going to get the signal right here, and here's the voice call from Brent Webster.
Unnecessary roughness. Face mask on the defense. 15 yards. First down.
And Jalen Butcher's a veteran. He knows better. He's got to sink his hips, and he's got to get his hands around the torso, the hips, the waist of the running back. He can't jump on his high shoulders and, in this case, get into the face mask.
I agree with you for sure. It's going to be now 1st and 10, meanwhile. Now at the 45-yard line. Approaching halfway through this first quarter here on WE TV. McCallum will pass on 1st and 10. Just avoids the blitz. Finds Young up the middle. Tries to jump over one tackler, but he's brought down at about the 16-yard line.
Great recognition by the Beefeaters. They saw a blitz coming off that right side. McCallum's able to get that ball out real quickly. He just replaces it. You'll see some extra pressure coming here. And number 3, the half, is going to come in, just replaces them, gets rid of it over the middle of the field. And in Canadian football, that middle of the field is so valuable. They have to exploit it. In that case, McCallum does indeed exploit it with his wide receiver, Cody Young, and that sets them up deep in Fratman territory.
Last week had 16 of 24 passing, 218 yards, 2 passing TDs, as well as a rushing touchdown McCallum did, as he'll set up for 1st and 10 in the red zone. Looking to left side. Towards the sideline, but dropped. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Noah Olenek.
Yeah, and I was critical of McCallum earlier, but this time this is on the receiver. McCallum makes a good throw, puts it in a position where his receiver can catch it. I don't like when you jump. When you jump, you have no more control because you're at the whim of gravity. Extend your arms, catch the ball, keep your feet on the ground. I think that's a lack of concentration from the receiver there, and I'm not going to put the blame on the quarterback. That's a drop, not an incompletion in my assessment.
McCallum will set up once again for 2nd and 10. He'll once again look towards the left, scrambles to the right, has multiple receivers trying to get open as it's picked off. Fratman picking off, it is Jalen Butcher, trying to go all the way to the house, has a block to center field. Around the 40, still going, one man to beat. 20, 15, jukes the one man, tackler's coming back, touchdown Fratman. And it's a pick 6 of more than 110 yards.
What a critical mistake by McCallum. You cannot throw against the grain over the middle. He was rolling out to the right. He threw across his body to the left, overthrows him. He's not in balance. You'll see here, McCallum does the right job. He has lots of time. He's scrambling to the right, but he throws across his body late over the middle, overshoots his receiver, and Jalen Butcher, who took the face mask penalty, goes 112 yards for the touchdown. So far, the Fratmen have monster touchdowns.
Yeah, and you can see at the end of the play, too, just trying to dodge multiple players, trying to make the tackle around the 10-yard line. As the extra point's good. No good, actually.
No good. And the one thing I will say, Justin, is also credit to every single one of the Fratmen defenders. Most teams have some sort of bingo call. Once you have that interception, turn and start blocking. And there was a convoy of receivers there. I will give the Beefeaters a little bit of credit, as it looked like it was Taz Van Bell who was trying to be the last man back to make the tackle on Jalen Butcher 2 against 2, but he was just exhausted and there was too much pressure on him, as we see Jalen Butcher celebrating that. We have a 59-yard touchdown, a 67-yard touchdown, I believe, and now we have a 112-yard touchdown in the books for the home squad. What a disastrous start for this Beefeaters. They are much more talented than this, but now they have a monstrous hole they have to dig themselves out of.
20-0 is the score as the Fratmen continue to lead. This will be returned once again by Olenek, who'll move from the left side, get some blocks as he crosses the center field. Ball comes out on the tackle. Scramble for the football around the 35. Fratmen think they have it.
And they
do.
I was 3 Fratmen who recovered it. There was no way the Beefeaters were going to get it, and that's probably one of my concerns why, if you're going to catch this ball all the way outside the numbers, I don't like running back to the middle of the field. You're running into traffic, and you're going to see here a strip right there. That was number 37 for the Fratmen. That was Sammy Morrow, who makes that nice, perfect strip. He reaches in, knocks the ball out, and there you go. The Fratmen are set up. They're not going to have a monster, and appears we have a timeout on the field. As the Fratmen want to talk this over, the sudden change. They didn't have enough bodies on the field, so they want to settle themselves down. But boy, what just an absolute nightmare.
I don't know what else to really say, but other than one thing. One of our presenting sponsors for tonight is Nodis Athletic Incorporated, established in 1946, specializing in your equipment needs, including for football. But of course, with this game, the Fratmen have been in full control for this entire first half of the first quarter. It's just been domination station. I don't know how else to really put it with that, Badi.
Yeah, I am surprised by this. I do believe London has talent and has the ability to play, but we said about earlier who can stay in their game plan longer and who can take care of the ball, and so far the Beefeaters have not taken care of the ball.
Let's see what happens on 1st and 10 as the Fratmen set up once again at the 31. Mayu scrambles forward, looks to the left, throws on the motion, and no man's land as it's picked off. Intercepted on the bad throw by Willie Emoko, as that's going to be the first turnover by AKO tonight.
Yeah, and that is a critical mistake. All right, young man, you are able to step up into the pocket. Same thing I said about McCallum. Don't throw across your body back over the middle. And he did exactly that. You have no body position whatsoever. Take the sack. You're already in field goal range. Worst case scenario, you punt, pin them deep. Maybe you get the point back from the extra point. You see Coach LaChance saying, step up, step out, but do not throw across your body. Coach LaChance is not happy with that kind of throw, that kind of decision. He understands he's a rookie, but that cannot happen if you want to be a championship team.
And after the turnover, that places the Beefeaters at the 22. McCollum with a quick play. Down towards the left side, trying to dodge around receivers. Josh Waller's going to be tackled at about the 37, as that's going to be enough for a first down, a game of about 15.
Yeah, and I believe that's something that the Beefeaters want to be able to do. They've had success getting the ball out very, very quickly on the little flare-outs. You have individual lining up in the backfield in some sort of wing, and they believe they can outflank them and get extra bodies. If not, the Fratmen like to bring pressure, which means now you're going to take a linebacker who has to expand out to anyone swinging out of the backfield. So that's a tough challenge for a linebacker if they're going to bring pressure. So to see the Beefeaters likely do that more.
Let's see if they bring the pressure on 1st and 10. As now Vane Bell trying to duke through different players as he'll be brought down at about the 46 as he'll be 2nd and short.
And just a little bit of a delay draw. You'll see here on the replay that the handoff's just going to come underneath the quarterback. There it is, and Van Bell's going to follow his big lineman up the field. If his big lineman would have made the initial block, you probably would have seen a few extra yards there, but a very solid run bringing up a 2nd down and a long 1 or a short 2, depending on how you want to call it.
And it's going to be 2nd and 1 on the field as the Beefeaters try and get themselves a decent spot. Vane Bell goes from right to left, runs through the defenders. He's off to the races, to the 30, the 20, the 10. Bye-bye him. See you later. Touchdown, Beefeaters. And Tazzy Vane Bell makes the AKO Fratman defense pay for his first touchdown of the night.
And that's exactly what you want to be able to do. He presses the hole, realizes nothing's there, gets to the cutback. Defensive end got himself out of position. You have to maintain your gap control and your leverage, and you see him just cut it all the way back, untouched as he works his way up the sideline for an explosive play for the Beefeaters. Good on the coaches to stay within their game plan. That's their best playmaker. Get him the ball, and he put you right back in the game.
Beefeaters will now set up for the extra point as this will be put up and a bit low, but should be good. Yes, it is 20-7. When it comes to Vane Bell, he's also the OFC Offensive Player of the Week after last game. He had 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, also caught another touchdown with 67 receiving yards. So he's somebody that is a big-time threat on all portions of the offense here.
Absolutely, and fortunately, they were able to get in. Here you're going to see the CGFL power rankings. It's obviously going to be heavy towards the west. It traditionally is. But you do see the Hamilton Hurricanes sitting there number 2, with our Windsor FRATMEN sitting at 6, and the Ottawa Sooners still hanging around. Last week's loss bumped them back out, but they stayed in the top 10. If London does manage to come back, you'll find London hitting these next week. However, the team to beat is still the Saskatoon Hilltops. Unless they lose it, they're going to be ranked number 1 probably the entire season.
And we'll have to see how that develops. When it comes to Fratman, last time they had the power rankings, they were in 9th, up by 3 spots for this week. As the kickoff is up and away, Fratman will get the football back as it bounces back by the return man. Now finally picked up in the end zone. This is going to be tackled at about the 15. Flags are thrown on the tackle as Dante Lewis tried to get that forward, as we'll have to see what the flag's for.
Unlike a couple weeks ago where the Fratmen did a great job of catching the ball in the air, they did not. And there's the signal from Brent Webster. We got a push in the rear, and that illegal block in the back is going to move it half the distance to the goal from where the infraction happened. Here's the call.
Push from the rear, AKO, 1st down.
Good call, sir.
And now what ends up happening is the ball carrier was at the 10 when the infraction happened. They're going to go 5 yards back, half the distance to the goal. And you see the Fratmen are set up in terrible field position. If they would have just caught the ball, they would have caught it at the 20-yard line and probably fell forward for 10 yards. Now they're in a little bit of a pickle as the whistle's blown in.
1st and 10 at the 5-yard line as the Fratmen try and deal with this tough field position. Mayu will hand it off to his back. Pryor off to the races, gives them decent field position as he's brought down at the 24.
Yeah, and that's Nash Pryor who works his way. Great job by the offensive line, great job by the fullback, and you dig yourself immediately out of the hole there. Nash has a special spot in my heart, and I know Coach LaShawn said how long before I mentioned Nash played for me at Essex High School for 5 years, and he was a tremendous athlete, and he started off the season as wide receiver, took a little bit of a vacation, had to sort of settle himself down, and came back and asked the coaching staff to move to running back, and so far so good, back to his natural home.
1st and 10 at the 25 as Mayu hands it off. Rushing on forward is the fullback as he's tackled at about near the sticks. That is Andrew Allen given the rush there this time.
Yeah, and Coach McCurdy said, hey, we got something special here. We actually have a fullback. So they run a little inside zone trap here, and they are able to get it to the big man as he rumbles forward, and he picks up about 15 yards. So they get 2 running plays. They move all the way from their 5, 35 yards forward to the 40. Tremendous job by the O-line and the backfield.
On that last play, too, Prayer was swallowed up right after the handoff to the fullback. Mayo will hand it off to Prayer this time. This time he is swallowed up for a loss of about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, that's a good job by the linebacker for the visitors, Cameron Bailey, who he simply watched the play develop, stayed in his gap leverage, and he was able to square up, as you'll see here on the replay. Nash had to cut it back, but he cut it right back into the waiting arms of the linebacker, and that's a good job by the Beefeater defense. It turns out to be about a half-yard loss, but nonetheless, they were able to get out of the shadow of their own goalpost, so it's a successful drive so far. Let's see if the Fratmen can keep it alive.
2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line as Mayu will set up with 3 slot backs. Mayu looks towards the middle. It's caught, but dropped. Intended for Brandon McCraney, but just fell out of his hands.
Very good job blocking, very good eye discipline from the quarterback, looking everywhere, and then he sees his man over the middle. He delivers a ball that should have been caught. McCraney had it in his hands. It just looked like he lost his concentration trying to turn it up the field, and that is a drop, a play I know Brandon would like to have back, but nonetheless, on the books, you're going to grade that. That's definitely going to be a negative, so you got to rectify those. But in the grand scheme of things, let's see if the Fratmen can flip the field position and pin the Beefs deep in their own zone after digging out of their own end zone.
1:48 to go in the first quarter as the clock continues to tick down. Punt unit sets on up. Andrew Beaton sets up for his first punt of the night as he just gets it off. Bounces it around the 47. Going to be returned now by Olenek. Olenek tries to break out of the swall as he's going to be whistled down at about the same spot, about maybe the 37, if not the 38. Pardon me, yeah, 38.
And they just got the kickoff. The Beefs brought a little bit of pressure. The Fratmen are kicking into the wind. They're going into the wind right now with about 1.5 minutes left in this opening quarter. The wind has been howling down here in Windsor all day. It is a cool evening. I'm not even sure if it's 65 degrees outside right now. But that said, we're looking at a good field position for the visitors, and let's see if they can close the gap on that opening 20-0 lead. They've already answered with 7.
18 degrees Celsius and cloudy is the weather conditions tonight as McCollum rolls forward, makes the quick pass, but incomplete. Intended receiver was Josh Waller.
That was a good job by the Fratmen entirely. The coverage was there behind him. McCallum had to come off his first receiver. You'll see him clutch. He doesn't like what he sees, and he has to step up, and then he just flares one out. Awfully close to being a lateral, but I don't think that was going anywhere. If it was caught, probably going to be a loss. So I think that's a fortunate misconnection for the Beefeaters.
2nd and 10 as the clock reaches just under 1 minute to go in the quarter. McCollum making audibles on the play. Still shifting around slot backs as now whistles called. And it looks like we might have a timeout. Yes, indeed we do.
Yeah, play clock was bound to expire. It couldn't have been much more than 2 or 3 seconds on the play clock, and the Beefeaters, knowing full well how critical it is to keep their momentum going, had to take a timeout.
With that, our presenting sponsor for tonight's action is Harold Remark. If you're looking for your next home, contact Roe LePage Binder Real Estate today.
And there's a look at the sideline. You take a look at Nash Prier, number 27. You can already see the rip in his jersey, so if that continues to rip, you already have your backup plan. He's moving to number 23, indeed, if that does the case. But like I said, he was just undecided as to where he wanted to play. Started out as wide receiver and then came back, and I know he's a running back, and he's proven his weight so far as we take a look at the rest of the sideline. And there's Devin Woods back in it. You see Coach LaChance as he's working, and there's some of the old linemen just waiting to get back on the field.
With that, it'll be 2nd and 10 after multiple audibles in the timeout. McCollum, 3 slot backs in the motion. looking towards the center. Blitz is coming, trying to shut it off away. Flag is down as he's tackled out about the 35.
Yeah, I think you're going to get another face mask here. We'll wait for the official call. Yeah, and there's the call, face mask against the home team. And instead of it being a third and a lot for a
Unnecessary roughness. Face mask on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
It's so unfortunate. I believe they're going to call Jalen Butcher again. I think it was Jalen Butcher who got off. They brought heat. They bring the edge pressure. And, again, a high tackle. But I'll have to see the replay to get the exact number. But I do think it was Jalen Butcher once again. And here's the replay coming off the outside. The pressure's there. No, it was 52.
That would be Josh Allen on that play. Speaking of plays, quick throw by McCollum, able to get it towards the sideline of Josh Wallers. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 32.
And you probably missed the start of that play. It looks like London's trying to get to the line of scrimmage a little quicker. They're still huddling, but they're getting out a little quicker, maybe trying to find some tempo here as they battle back into this game right now. The Beefeaters seem to have picked up some momentum, so there's no panic right now from their sideline as they break the huddle and they go to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 now setting up at about the 39-yard line. Less than 10 seconds on the clock. Van Bell trying to cut to the right side. Goes out of bounds as he's going to stop the clock with about 2 seconds left on it at about the 25.
Yeah, again, a very disciplined, patient run. Just a little bit of a delay. Lido, big lineman, gets inside, makes a block. He follows it perfectly. There was no edge set. They didn't squeeze that down. Defensive linemen have to fight that pressure a little better because a guard led right through that hole, and that was way too easy. He's literally scooted out of bounds 17 yards without being touched. This is going to be the last play of the opening quarter.
Last play of the opening quarter as it's officially marked at the 26. McCollum hands it off to Van Bell. Sheds off one defender. Tackled by multiple others as that'll be about the 27-yard line. But with that, that's the end of the first quarter. The AKO Fratmen lead 20-7 over the London Beefeaters here on WeTV. With that, we'll be back in just a few moments. You're watching WeTV from Windsor, Ontario.
Hi, I'm Luke Wilson of the Detroit Lions. For the best local sports programming, make sure to tune in to WeTV.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario at Alumni Field as the AKO Fratmen lead 20-7 as we're about to start off the second quarter. London Beefeaters having their best drive of the game so far, setting up to start off this quarter at about the 27. But what can they do to get back into this game?
Well, I think they're sticking to their game plan. Kudos to them. It's going to be 2nd down and 10, but they are giving the ball to their playmaker. They're letting their running back, Van Bell, make some plays. So good for them. If they can somehow convert this and get any kind of points on this drive, it's like starting from scratch. They're right back in it.
And the clock now rolls to start off the second quarter. 3 slot backs will set up for McCollum as he'll look towards the center. Throws to the left outside corner to the end zone. It's incomplete, but a flag is down at about, it looks like, the 10-yard line on the play.
Yeah, that ball was underthrown, and it's leaked to the inside. We do have a flag in the backfield, so we're going to see here on the replay what the call is, and it looks like it's going to be roughing the passer, which if it indeed is the case, you're going to get a first down reset here as we get Brent Webster making the call. All right, so we have fouls against both teams. If they call this post-play, then it's going to be 3rd down. If they call it during the play, it's going to offset, and I believe they're going to replay the down.
Unnecessary roughness, offense. Unnecessary roughness, defense. 3rd down.
Okay, so that's what I thought. They're going to let the play stand, and they're going to actually go 3rd down here. Oh, they're going to have a discussion here. We're just waiting to get confirmation. Here's the call. second down. It wasn't after. It was during the play. And during the play, those penalties offset, but the play has to be replayed.
And now it's going to be again 2nd and 10 for the second straight time for the Beefeaters. As McCollum hands it off. Vane Bell jukes to the left, trying to get to the outside as he's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 29, a loss of about a couple.
That was a tremendous job by the Fratman defense. Set the edge, create some natural spill. You'll see Van Bell wanted to try to insert here, but he couldn't. His lineman got bumped because he had pressure. They filled the hole there, and this time he got Jalen Butcher, who's going to come in and force him out of bounds. Didn't take the face mask this time, but I'd still like to see Jalen get a little lower his frame as he approaches, and it looks like the Beefeaters are keeping their offense on the field for this third down.
Yes, they are. They're not going to go for the field goal as it's 3rd and 10 at the 26. Approaching 1 minute into the second quarter here on WE TV for OFC football from Windsor, Ontario. As McCollum brings the slot backs forward. Scrambles to the right, throws on the motion to the end zone. It's incomplete. Had an open receiver in Olenek, but couldn't reach him.
That is such a hard throw to the quarterback to make when he's trying to throw the post, when he's scrambling to the right. That is not an easy play because it's still a little bit across his body, and there's just not enough. The wind is going to kill that and knock that down. I don't mind the play call. I guess you could have punted. I think field goal was a little much. This is a strong win. It would have been about a 38-yard field goal. But I don't necessarily like the scheme unless he was supposed to stay in the pocket. But it looked like McCollum was set right off the snap to try to get to the outside. But the Fratmen dodge a bullet there as they're going to have relatively good field position to start this drive.
1 minute now into the second quarter as Colton Allen's now into the game for the AKO Fratmen at quarterback. Breer going to be brought down for a gain of a couple as he's tackled out to 32.
Yeah, and probably close to 4 yards on the play. Decent. You'll see here on the replay, it's just a power lead-o. I'd like to see the fullback get through a little bit quicker there. The fullback, Andrew Allen, just hesitated. If he gets through a little quicker, that means Nash is going to get through a little quicker. And when that happens, you're going to get some action as Nash leaves the field for the first time of this quarter.
Yeah, they're taking him out for the play, and I believe Allen is now the back as they'll set up for 2nd and 6. Possible pass play as Allen quickly throws towards up the middle. It's complete. Devin Woods trying to push forward as he's brought down at about the 50, maybe the 49.
Yeah, and this is Colton Allen at quarterback right now. And again, staying true to form, they're switching from Mayu to Allen. And Devin Woods, they want to head their big target. He was ranked nationally as one of the top players to look for in the CJFL this year. And Devin Woods' presence is already being felt right now. He has close to 100 yards in total offense already on just a couple catches and that early touchdown.
For those wondering why they may be going back and forth with quarterbacks, throughout the season, the Fratmen have been rotating Mayu and Allen for different snaps between games. For this quarter, it's Allen's quarter as he tries to make the quick screen play. Incomplete. Intended receiver, Jared Hayes Williams.
Yeah, and I would like to see Allen just get this out a little quicker. He holds on to it and is trying to get the seams. That's a sideways throw. Get it to your receiver quicker. Even if he caught the ball, he was hit immediately. So it's bound to go nowhere on that case. I just think you got to get that ball out a little quicker. It wasn't out fast enough, and I think that's why that play was destined for failure, bringing up a 2nd and long.
2nd and 10 at the 49 for the Fratmen as we're approaching 12 minutes to go in the first half for the OFC Game of the Week. Allen going to pass it on 2nd down. Feels the immediate pressure as he's going to be sacked. And it looks like Brandon Thompson was the one to grab the sack for the Beefeaters, as that'll mean the special units team will come out for the Fratmen.
Yeah, and they just brought some heat right up the middle there. They did a little bit of a twist, and the offensive linemen were unable to take that. The defense just D-tackle, scooted out, and came back underneath. The key always is going to be, if you're an offensive line guy, and me being an offensive line, jam up the guy who's trying to penetrate, so that way the looper has to go wider. In this case, did not negate the penetrator, and that's why you're going to see a punt here on 3rd down after the sack.
Andrew Beaton will set up for the punt as the ball's going to be snapped directly from center field. Beaton Flag is thrown on the play at the line of scrimmage as it'll be kicked out of bounds at the 36. But again, flag was thrown along the AKO Fratman sideline.
I'm pretty confident this is an offsides against the Beefeaters. So if the Fratmen opt to, they might move it up 5 yards and re-kick. So we have offside is indeed the indication against the visitors. I think you can option to move it back from where the ball went out of bounds. So we'll see what the team is going to do. No, they're going to move up 5 yards.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
And as you heard, they're going to repeat the third down. So Beaton will have to punt a second time. And look at the fans having some nice fun here at Alumni Field. Lots of fans coming out to watch their favorite team, the Windsor AKO Fratmen. With that, it's going to be still third and long as Beaton. Not as much time. The punt is blocked. Thompson still trying to celebrate, still trying to search for the ball. Picked up by one of the Fratmen, but either way, it's going to mean the Beefeaters will have a much shorter field to deal with.
Yeah, and that's twice in a row. There was pressure the first time around. Taking a little bit of time, a snap that was real late getting there anyway, as that was number 8, Brandon Thompson, who made the block. And it doesn't matter if Anthony Guerra picks that ball up there. It's possessions going back to the Beefeaters as it was a third down and they didn't get anywhere near the yards to gain after the block. And the Beefeaters have responded well after that shell-shocking 20-0 deficit early in the first quarter.
They have a chance to try and bring this to a one-possession game as McCollum passes to the right on the screen play. Flag is down on the play at about the line of scrimmage as Vane Bell is going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, see, I think the receiver started blocking way too early there. Way too early. So we'll get the call here. Okay, it's the offside. So they jumped the gun one way or another, but the penalty is likely going to be declined because I think there might have been a minimal gain.
Offside, offense, penalties declined, second down.
Yeah, I think they only gained about a half yard there. Justin's going to bring up second down and long anyway.
It's going to be about 2nd and 9.5 at the most, it appears. As again, they're going to set up at about the 41.5-yard line. The Fratmen trying to hold the Beefeaters out of the end zone. Stacking the box already. McCallum going to hand it off to Vane Bell. Vane Bell tries to get to the outside as he's going to be brought down for a gain of 2.
That was a nice job there by the linebacker, Josh Allen, number 52, who was able to grab some of the cloth without getting a horse collar and wrap up the quarterback or running back and bring him down. And you'll see here on the replay, he gets there, just grabs enough of the cloth, doesn't tug from the shoulder pad high. It's in the middle of the numbers, low, which is not a horse collar, and he was able to get the tackle, which is going to bring up that punting situation. And if the Beefeaters can, they'd like to maybe angle punt this and pin them in the proverbial coffin corner.
And we'll see if Spearing will be able to do so once again. He'll be punting from about the 50-yard line. As it's a straight punt. Heading towards Cooper as it bounces just out of the end, down the sideline as they'll be ruled out at about the 12-yard line.
All right, I grade that a B+. It's into the wind, so the wind may have factored that. It's inside the 20, great. Inside the 15, which is why it's a B+. If it was inside the 10, A+, inside the 5. Either way, decent job. They got to give the Fratmen the big field. The Fratmen have not proven they can go down, down, down. Multiple first downs to move the ball. What they have done is have explosive plays. The Beefeaters seem to have settled in, not giving up any explosive plays since that interception, but we'll see if the Fratmen can get back on track.
Fratmen will set up at the 13-yard line with Colton Allen under center. Only one slot back as they're going to hand it off to Preer. Preer tackled in the backfield for a loss of a few.
Poorly blocked. They tried to run counter trey there. It was just poorly blocked. Your down blocks have to be perfect here, as you'll see on the replay. And you'll have the defensive end, number 98, Thompson, again, just was able to squeeze right down. The fullback needs to be able to cut that penetration off as the running back tries to counter. There was no cutoff, and that turns out to be a 3-yard loss.
2nd and 15 as they'll set up at about the 8-yard line. 3 total slot-backs once again for the Fratmen. Allen passes on 2nd and long, throws it towards the middle to Cooper as it's complete. Breaks through 2 different cornerbacks as he'll be brought down at about the 44. The ball pops out after the whistle, but a huge play, another explosive one for AKO.
Good job by Colton Allen going with the hard count because it's offsides against the visitors, so that play is going to stand. You'll see here Colton Allen knows he's got a free play, goes over the top. Excellent job by Marcus Cooper going up and getting it high. If he would have broken this tackle, there was a
defense.
chance.
Penalty is declined.
And there was an
First down.
offsides as you hear through the microphones as well of Brent Wheeler. Penalties obviously declined as it's 1st and 10 out the 44. Another explosive play from the Windsor AKO Fratmen. About 8:51 to go in the first half as Allen tries to signal the play change to his team. 1st and 10, quick pass towards the sideline. Juking around the outside, Jarrett Hayes-Williams. And it's going to be a gain of about 8 as it'll be 2nd and 2.
Good job. I think Colton Allen just simply looked. He counted. He checked to the right, realized he had no numbers, switched that back to the left on a simple little numbers game and realized that his receiver could probably pick up 6, 7, 8 yards, and he did indeed pick up about 9 yards, bringing up a 2nd down and short.
On top of that, you might notice Kyle Jennings also fell on top of the pile while trying to block his defender. It kind of helped push them forward a bit, maybe 2. With that, though, it's 2nd and 1 on the field. 53-yard line is where they place it. Woods was shipped to the right side of the field. Allen to Prayer. Prayer's got enough for the first down as he's tackled at about the 53.
Excellent surge by the offensive lineman. There was no doubt that they were going to get that because Prayer just realized I need a yard, lowered his shoulder. They get good surge. Fullback makes a block, and then Nash protects the ball and gets up the field, picks up good 5 yards, converting that first and breaking midfield stripe, setting the Fratmen up on the positive side at the 53-yard line going in.
And this is, again, the Fratmen setting up in Beefeaters territory as the Fratmen sideline watches on. Allen snaps it, hands it off to his fullback. Allen pushes over one tackler, still trying to push people forward as he's brought down at about the 44.
That's a presence we haven't seen in a couple years for this Fratmen team. A big physical fullback with some nimble feet. They're just going to lead him up on that inside ISO run, and the fullback was able to make a guy miss and use his big frame, big thighs to drive forward for almost the full 10. It's bringing up 2nd down and short here. And it looks like Colton Allen is leaving the field, which likely indicates that we're going to have a wedge play, a quarterback sneak. And it's Allen who looks like he's going under center and not Colton Allen, the running back Allen.
Yeah, they also brought in Nathaniel Ganish in to help push this forward. Flag is thrown on the play as the ball appears to be bouncing around maybe.
It was fumbled, but the Beefeaters lined up offside. This is going to be a first down. The Beefeaters clearly lined up offside. There was miscommunication there. I know Coach LaChance told me that they practiced this wedge with Josh Allen, and they were going to execute it if need be. They got to fix that because it is a valuable resource, but you're going to get the call here. 5 yards, first down. Good job by the Fratmen getting that as they went to their heavy package. But now you're going to see quarterback Colton Allen
Offside,
back.
defense, 5-yard penalty results in a first down. Number 34.
And now we know it was number 34 who got the penalty, who was lined up in the neutral zone. That was not movement. He was just in that neutral zone before the snap, or during the snap, I should say.
Oscar Redkop was the one who drew the flag there for the offsides call as it's moved to the 38-yard line. Fratmen, 1st and 10. Allen feels pressure from the right, scrambles, trying to get away from the sack as he's tackled. Going to be brought down by Cameron Bailey at about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the one thing I would like to see Colton Allen do when he's scrambling, and there was some pressure there, you'll see him realize, okay, I got to turn and go. 2 hands on the ball. 2 hands on the ball, because if he gets that away from his body at all, keep the two hands on the ball. You can protect it a lot more. It wasn't a loss. He didn't throw across his body. There's no interception, so it was safe. But just little things like that as the season progresses, you want to protect the ball. Two hands as he's still thinking about throwing it.
2nd and 9 now after that 1-yard gain of what could be a risky play. Allen will pass again. Feels the pressure. Screen play falls apart as it's incomplete. Intended for Allen.
Well, that's Thomas Ramsey, number 99. Outstanding job taking away that screen. It was almost set up perfectly. Almost every single Beefeater defender got roped in, but Thomas Ramsey sat on the running back, Allen, and that negated any opportunity. And it looks like the Fratmen are going for it here. A little bit of a gamble.
Maybe trying to get some insurance points right now. It is just a 20-7 game with about 5 minutes to go, just above that point, as Allen will set up on the 3rd and long. And the flags are thrown into play. Allen went for the hard count. I think we might have this maybe going back.
Well, I think there's two fouls. I think the Beefeaters were offside, but I also think Devin Woods was offside as the receiver. So we'll see who they're going to call. It could be one on each side, but we're waiting to see from the referees what they're going to go with here, because I think there was opposite sides that could have been called here. And they're only going to call the one way, and this is against Windsor. So this is going to back them up. My guess, the reason why they didn't punt
Offside on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
And just going back, my guess is why they didn't punt is they're concerned with their protection on these punts. They had one blocked. They almost had 2 others blocked. And I think they have some protection issues right now. Or the Beefeaters have something they've seen on film that they're exploiting here. So let's see, because the snaps have been slow and the kicks have been slow.
And we'll have to see here as we're approaching directly 5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. As Beaton going to punt this from about center field. Just gets it off this time. As it will bounce back to about the 5-yard line. Going to be picked up once again. Mitchell Spence will return it. Going to the left side of the field. Breaks off one tackler. Across the 30s, he's brought down at about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and he was brought down by the person who kicked that ball. That was Andrew Beaton, who did a good job. He didn't want to kick return on his clock. He already had one block, so he decided, I'm going to exact a little bit of revenge myself and make a tackle. That was an extremely aggressive tackle by Beaton. You'll see here on the bounce back, okay, decent kick, puts him inside the 5 on the hash. Not the best of coverage because you'd like to pin him there, but you're going to see number 27 come screaming into the field right now, and it's number 29, the kicker, who makes the tackle. Beaton, wonderful job by the kicker to at least keep the Beefeaters on their side of the midfield stripe.
It'll be now 1st and 10 at the 33 as McCallum tries to move forward in the pocket, and he's swallowed up by the Fratmen.
It looked like a design draw. It looked like they were trying to influence and get the Fratmen to come up the field hard rush, and McCallum was going to take 3 steps and then run, which was indeed the call you see clearly on our replay, but the Fratmen had nothing to do with it as 3 defenders converged to make that tackle for what was maybe a 2-inch gain. It's 2nd down and 10. Maybe not the call I would have looked for at that case scenario, but the Beefeaters are staying true to themselves. Keep it in McCallum's hands and give it to Van Bell.
2nd and 10 now at the 33. As the London Beefeaters try and move this offense forward. McCallum scrambles forward in the pocket again as he's swallowed up for a gain of about 3.
Yeah, good pressure, great back-end coverage. The back-end coverage forced McCallum to pull it down. When he pulls it down, the pocket collapses on him. His eyes are downfield. He wants to throw, but he realizes he can't because the coverage is there. So he just realizes, I'm going to pick up as many yards as I possibly can. But he only picks up 2.5 yards. It's going to bring up a punting situation. And the Fratmen are going to have a little over 3 minutes possibly to get some more points on the board here because they haven't really scored since middle of the 1st quarter.
It's been a defensive stance, a defensive logjam rather, for this 2nd quarter. As the punt is up and away, Cooper watches the ball bounce back, rolls between him and Lewis. Lewis is the one to pick it up. Trying to push his way forward through a gain of tacklers as he's brought down about the 42.
So not a bad job.
Not bad field position, but one of our presenting sponsors for tonight is Harold Remark. If you're looking for your next home, contact Royal LePage, Binder Real Estate.
The one thing we haven't seen from the Fratmen yet is any kind of bootleg action. Both Mayu and Allen are relatively athletic, and the way the end men on the line of scrimmage are playing for the Beefeaters are really coming hard down the heel line. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of boot action here. Maybe get an easy little release from one of the receivers as the quarterback gets outside the pocket.
Just past the 3-minute warning now in the first half as Allen hands it off to Prayer. Prayer will get maybe a gain of 1 as it'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, not much surge there from the right side of the offensive line as the Beefeaters did a good job. And that was Brandon Thompson again, who was setting that left edge of the defense. So he picked up about 1.5 yards.
Going to be ruled 2nd and 9 at the 43 for this play. Allen making sure everyone's on the same page, maybe changing up the play of the line. Here we go, 2nd and 9. Allen looking over, breaks through to a couple tackles, scrambles to the left, throws on the back foot, wide open is Hayes Williams as it's complete. Caught around the 32. He'll be tackled about the 25 as Jared Hayes Williams gets them in great field position.
Very good job as Colton Allen was able to step up in the pocket, break up left, but you'll see here as he's about to throw, so he steps up into the pocket, realizes, I got to get going, but before he throws, watch him turn his shoulders. There you go. Young quarterbacks, you have to get your body in the right position. He did, even though he was scrambling left. He drove his left shoulder back to the inside and drove it to his receiver, who made a play for him. Now the Fratmen are set deep.
Ruled to go to the 24-yard line with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. And they're calling a timeout on the field. And it looks like it's called by the Fratmen. That is their last timeout.
Coach LaChance didn't like something. I saw him sort of scrambling maybe on the sideline, for lack of better words. He saw something that he didn't like. Maybe the Fratmen were misaligned, or there was something on the defense that he didn't like relative to that play call he sent in. So he's now talking to his quarterback. He's now talking to his fullback. They're getting on the same page. You can't have a turnover here, so he wants to establish that with 1:47, the worst thing you can walk away from here is a single point to maybe convert that missed field goal or extra point earlier. Maybe they get a field goal, or maybe they get a touchdown. But the worst thing they can get here is a single point. If they don't get another single yard, they can't have a turnover. So he wanted to settle his crew down here, and you might as well use that timeout. You can't keep it for the second half.
1st and 10 now at the 24 with 1:47 as mentioned on the clock. Allen going to hand this off to Prayer. Prayer gets some blocks. Brought down at about the 19-yard line as it'll be 2nd and 5-ish.
Yeah, and right there, that's just a situation where you're going to get the Fratmen who are just going to want. Kyle Jennings is nasty. He just wants to push the pile forward. You see him engage. He's on top of bodies going there, and I know you referenced him earlier. That's number 69 there driving down, and the running backs love when their linemen fight like that, and they're going to keep fighting for it because that was a good, tough, hard run there by both the line and the running back and the fullback.
That makes it 2nd and 5 as the clock continues to roll on. Allen with 2 options on both sides of the field. He'll hand it off to Prayer once again. This time, though, swallowed up at the line of scrimmage as it will be 3rd and mid.
Yeah, conversely, this time it looked like it was offensive lineman Mark Speller who just didn't get the cutoff block that he needed, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down situation here because I think the hole was there initially, but it is indeed number 67 who did not get his body in the right position, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down, and it looks like Colton Allen is staying in the game here. Maybe, again, concerns with the snap, the exchange, even on a field goal here. They're going to try to maybe draw them offside, maybe a hard count, perfect situation to try to get a freebie.
Wind swirling to the right side of the field as Allen scrambles out of the pocket towards the left side as he's brought down at about the sticks.
Oh, boy, from that spot, it looks like he's short. from the spot on the field, it looks like he is going to be about a half yard short. So he needs to get across the 14, and I think that ball is at the 14 and a half. We're going to get a measurement here. His body was across, as you saw in that replay, but they're calling his knee down. If we can see that replay one more time, we're going to get the look here from the spot and from the sticks and chains, but my eye is telling me this is short.
And we'll see as they have to place the other stick.
Oh,
And it's enough.
oh,
I think it's enough. It's
it is a
enough.
first down. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Good thing my eyes aren't correct. And good thing they got the first down. I didn't think it was a great spot, but as it turns out, it's a good spot, and it's a first down on a calculated gamble going for it on third down. And now the Fratmen can see if they can get into the end zone with just under a minute left.
That looked to be maybe a quarter of a football, enough for the first down as it's spotted at the 18. The Fratmen drive continues. Fratmen. Allen throwing to the end zone, and it's dropped.
Okay, so we have a flag down. My guess is misalignment somehow. That flag was thrown immediately, so we're going to see if we're going to have any offsides. But you get the throw a little bit high over the middle. It's very difficult for the receiver to come back on that. We have offsides against the defense, so it's going to get a first and 5 here. And the clock should stop because of the penalty now, which is going to give the Fratmen extra downs.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So that's a great scenario that happened. The incompletion is washed off. The 5-yard gets them closer. They still can get a first down. And now the clock is going to be held until the snap. Yeah, and indeed that's the case, as they accidentally ran a second off the clock there.
Still 36 and a half seconds going to be on the clock as Allen hands it off this time. Allen breaks one tackle as he gets to the end zone. Touchdown, Fratmen.
And why not run behind Jennings? He's been the guy who's been doing it, and they give it to their big fullback, something, again, a presence that hasn't been part of the Fratmen for a couple years now. Good to see that back in action, as we see here in the replay. A nice seam on the inside for the Fratmen to get up the field, and you just see the big man rumble as he worked his way right up that one hole, the left cheek of the center, and he didn't get off his track, and that gives the Fratmen a touchdown here, their first of the second quarter, and let's see if they can make it a 20-point lead once again.
Once again, Beaton will set up for the extra point, as this one will be good. 27-7 with about 30 seconds to go in the first half. And the Fratmen have just been absolutely explosive offense. As you said, though, just their first touchdown. Now, what do you expect from London now with these final few seconds?
Well, unless they get a half-decent return, I think they're just going to negate, take the knee. I don't think they want to do anything. I think they played a good second quarter. I think they kept themselves in the game. They settled in despite the slow start. But what I think the Fratmen are going to be happy about is that they were able to actually go down the field and get a handful of first downs and actually get into the end zone on a longer drive rather than an explosive play. Good on them. The Beefeaters are going to go in at half and probably give them the talk like, hey, we can't put ourselves behind the 8 ball. We can play with this team. We just can't play from behind with this team.
Beaton will now go to kick things off once again. Going to be returned from about the 5-yard line. Trying to break towards the sideline. And that is knocked out of bounds as Ulilat will be knocked at about the 37.
Yeah, so maybe because they have a timeout, they're going to possibly, the Fratmen do not have any more timeouts. So I think the best scenario here is to take a shot down the field. Simply put, if you do get the yards, the clock's going to stop. You can always use your timeout. And if you don't get a yard here, you can run it on second down and kill this second quarter entirely. So I expect them to try to take a big shot, maybe 15, 20 yards down the field here.
McCallum sets up, low snap, throws the quick pass. Bouncing around after the completion is Foster as he's going to be brought down. Ball pops out after the whistle.
Yeah, I think the receiver was down, but I don't know if I like that play. That's to me, okay, you're throwing this quick little bat snap, but you're throwing a quick little hitch. You can't really expect a hitch to go very far or get you out of bounds. And actually, that looked like that ball was out before he hit the ground, but he blew it dead anyway. But probably going to be the last play of the half. I think that was maybe a little too conservative from the Beefeaters. I would have liked them to maybe try to run some sort of dig, something deep over the middle of the field.
I agree with you too. As the clock reaches 0, last play of the half, they're going to hand it off. Billy Latt's going to be swallowed up for a loss of about 1, but that does not matter either way. We're at halftime as the Windsor AKO Fratmen lead 27-7 over the London Beefeaters here at Alumni Field at the University of Windsor campus in Windsor, Ontario. We'll be back in just a few moments with your halftime coverage of OFC football. The Ontario Football Conference Game of the Week will continue right after these messages on WeTV.
We is the premier video streaming production company in southwestern Ontario. We are We Digital. We are busy. I mean really busy. We Digital is now recruiting hardworking, creative team players to try out for our team. Camera operators, audio specialists, web and social media geeks, hosts, media students, and some that just want to learn the ropes. Send us a resume, a demo reel with your best work, along with a cover letter that will snag an interview with our producers. Streaming is the future. Come and be part of what's next.
Fratman football here on WeTV. The Fratmen lead the Beefeaters by a score of 27-7. I'm Aaron Sanders, and joining me is the head coach of the London Beefeaters, Chris Marshall. And Chris, right out of the gate, there were a couple of turnovers that prompted into Fratman touchdowns. What happened there?
Well, you know what? They do what they do well. You know, they're aggressive and they get turnovers. They move the ball in big chunks. We talked about it before the game. You know, they push the ball downfield, and if we give them an inch, they're going to take it. You know, it isn't like they do anything that we don't know. They just execute very well, and that's the sign of great coaching and players who just really committed to doing what they do. You know, we have to go out and we have to execute what we've been taught all week, prepared, and we didn't do that in the first half, and hopefully in the second half we can do that.
And in addition to that, telling us off the air that it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Well, what else did you tell the boys, you know, inspire them to make sure that, you know, they stay on the same pace and they retain their focus?
Well, that's, you know what, I said to the guys, we got down 2 scores right away, and I said to them, like, you know, let's take it one play at a time, one series at a time. We were able to make a few plays. I still feel like we left 2 scores on the board there. You know, we should have had a couple more opportunities. Been right back into this game. You know, we get the ball in the second half, so we're going to go out and hopefully put some more points on the board and make this a ball game again.
No question about it. Thank you for your time, Coach. It's Marshall, the head coach of the Beefeaters, bringing in the receiving coach of the Fratmen. That's Joe Archer. And Joe, not a bad start.
Yeah, it was a good start. We came out, made some explosive plays. Quarterback threw some good balls, and their receivers made them pay for it. And then we kind of slowed down a little bit, but we're getting back on track now.
Devin Woods coming back, scoring a primo touchdown and a good massive first down run early on in the game. I mean, it's safe to say that he's gelling right back into the Fratman system.
Yeah, he's such a good athlete, and he's been around for quite a while. He played at the University of Windsor and here for his second year now. So he's a veteran, and he knows what he needs to do, and he's going to make plays out there.
What's going to be the bottom line here to finish off this game and come up with a 3-1 record?
We just got to improve our consistency a little bit. We got a little bit sluggish there and made some sloppy mistakes, but we just got to establish the run game a little more and keep making big plays, and we'll be all right.
We'll see what happens here. Joe, thank you for your time. Joe Archer, the Fratmen's receiving coach, and when we return, we'll have more here at this halftime report. You're watching Fratman football on WeTV.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor, Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future and my path to St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Windsor started a tradition way back of giving us great barbecue north of the border, and you can taste that tradition when you come to Tommy's Barbecue. Dive into Tommy's rotisserie-style ribs and chicken, along with the crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, and the original hot and sweet sauces. Plus all those amazing desserts like Black Forest cake and strawberry cheesecake. Taste the tradition and so much more at Tommy's Barbecue, 999 Erie Street East. See you there, Windsor.
Hi, I'm Luke Wilson of Detroit Lions. For the best local sports programming, make sure to tune in to WeTV.
We is the premier video streaming production company in southwestern Ontario. We are We Digital. We are busy. I mean really busy. We Digital is now recruiting hardworking, creative team players to try out for our team. Camera operators, audio specialists, web and social media geeks, hosts, media students, and some that just want to learn the ropes. Send us a resume, a demo reel with your best work, along with a cover letter that will snag an interview with our producers. Streaming is the future. Come and be part of what's next.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor, Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor, Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
To them? Do they have another thing going on?
All right, welcome back. Joining me is one of the veteran employees here on We TV, Bill Riley. Bill has been here since basically the beginning. Bill, we start pretty much right there. But no, we brought you here because we want to talk about what's going on in the future of We TV. We're recruiting a lot of people, and we thought that you would be the right person to talk about who we're recruiting and what we're looking for here.
Sure. We TV, we now call it We Digital. We're streaming. The only local company that's streaming television programming. It's exciting. We're so busy. We just came off doing St. Clair Saints. I think we did about 22, 23 games. It's NCAA baseball, and it was challenging. It was wonderful baseball. It was great television. We had audiences in Tennessee and Georgia, where these young men play normally in their colleges. Just great experience, and all streamed live in HD. We're doing so many things right now. We need people. We need people who want to work in the business. People who've maybe had some interest in videography. Maybe you're doing videography right now, photography, audio experts, production people. We're old guys like me are getting a little worn out. We're actually using the guy who's behind this camera right now, Matt Flood, wanting to do field camera. I did it last week, almost got killed, and so Matt is doing it right now and doing a fantastic job. So just tune in. We are really the local station. We're the local station here in Windsor County, and there's so many good things happening this fall. We've got business programs. We've got a new show we're working on called We Are the Experts. We Now, which is basically a daily program that just highlights what's going on in the city. Tune in. Keep tuning in. We're doing great things, and Fratman football is just one of the good programs that we're doing. So if you're interested in working with us, give us a call or actually email me at bill@wetv. We'll take a look at you, and we'll get your resume, and we'll get you out in the field and shooting some football.
Absolutely, Matt. You're doing a good job. And one thing to boot, too, a year ago I joined We TV, and I was put in that same position. So once again, the involvement of everybody is at an all-time high. And plus, we had a couple of people who worked in We TV in the past that are working in higher spectrums of cities like Toronto, Ottawa, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're a training ground for people that want to do bigger and better things in film and television. And really, we're kind of like a finishing school to the colleges and universities. So get your application into me, bill@wetv.ca, okay? And we'll look at you and maybe give you a spot.
Bill, thank you for your time, and thank you for promoting We TV. All right, Justin and Badee will call the game. We return to Alumni Field in just a moment. You're watching Fratman Football on We TV.
Windsor started a tradition way back of giving us great barbecue north of the border, and you can taste that tradition when you come to Tommy's Barbecue. Dive into Tommy's rotisserie-style ribs and chicken, along with the crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, and the original hot and sweet sauces. Plus all those amazing desserts like Black Forest cake and strawberry cheesecake. Taste the tradition and so much more at Tommy's Barbecue, 999 Erie Street East. See you there, Windsor.
Hi, I'm Luke Wilson of the Detroit Lions. For the best local sports programming, make sure to tune in to We TV.
We is the premier video streaming production company in southwestern Ontario. We are We Digital. We are busy. I mean really busy. We Digital is now recruiting hard-working, creative team players to try out for our team. Camera operators, audio specialists, web and social media geeks, hosts, media students, and some that just want to learn the ropes. Send us a resume, a demo reel with your best work, along with a cover letter that will snag an interview with our producers. Streaming is the future. Come and be part of what's next.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of the OFC Game of the Week, the London Beefeaters and the Windsor FRATMEN on WeTV. I'm Justin Prince, alongside me is Paddy Quaz, as we're just a few moments away from the start of the action. Again, 27-7 is your score. And what are you liking from this game so far, from both sides, really?
I'll start with the home team. I like the explosiveness. The FRATMEN have been able to get on the board early, and they were able to get a turnover, and they were able to get some play and flow late in the first half to drive the ball down. Now, from the Beefeater standpoint, I did like the way they settled in and they stayed to their game plan. They kept themselves in the game despite the late touchdown. They've put themselves in a situation where I think they're still in this game, but they're going to have to come into this third quarter with some more balance and eliminate all mistakes. One more mistake could be the fatal blow for the visitors.
I definitely agree with you on that part right now as they continue to set things on up for the start of this third quarter. In terms of the net yards, 341 offensive yards so far for the FRATMEN, just 185 for London. That just amplifies again the explosiveness that we expect from the FRATMEN.
I would venture a guess that close to 180 of those, half of those are from just 3 or 4 plays. They have a 59-yard touchdown, a 67-yard touchdown, and some big passes down the field. So ultimately, what's happening is the stats are going to be a little inflated. However, it's warranted. They still count because the FRATMEN had to execute that, and they did. But we'll see here if the Beefeaters can get right back into this game as they start with the ball here in the third quarter.
As you can see, London getting all set to go for the kickoff to start off the second half. When the AKL FRATMEN had picked up the ball to start off the first half. 2 receivers will set up for London to start things off for this quarter here at Alumni Field. As the wind starts to pick up, going from north to south here at the University of Windsor campus. Once again, Andrew Beaton, the kicker for the AKO FRATMEN, as we're off and away for the second half. Going to be picked up off the ground by Mitchell Spence. Spence gets a few blocks, but is brought down at about the 27.
Okay, hum-ho start for both teams. You want to see the ball caught in the air. You don't want to see the ball kicked in the middle of the field. Either way, decent average field position, nothing crazy. Like I mentioned a minute ago, Justin, I think the key is going to be for the Beefeaters, no more mistakes. If they can play a clean second half, they could very well win this game. They might not, because the FRATMEN could be completely clean, and a clean sheet in the second half will favor the FRATMEN. However, if the Beefeaters stay clean and the FRATMEN make a mistake or two, this could turn right back into a game, but it's fragile. One mistake for the Beefeaters could blow this thing wide open.
And the Beefeaters now set up for 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Heading off at the start of the first play. Tazzy Vane Bell will be swallowed up at about the 31-yard line.
Like the play call, again, getting it to the best player on the field. Young man's approaching 100 yards in total rushing. He had the long touchdown run already. He's a talent. They bring the backside guard or tackle. I wasn't exactly sure who that was around the horn there, but either way, they get good positive yards here at second down and more than manageable.
It's going to be 2nd and 3 on this play as the London Beefeaters set on up once again at the 30-yard line. About 1 minute into the third quarter. McCollum going to hand it off. Vane Bell got trapped in the backfield as he's tackled at about the 20.
Yeah, that was a bad play all across the board. The Beefeaters went on a hard count. The FRATMEN almost jumped. They did not. The Beefeaters got caught off guard flat-footed, and then the Cole defensive line linebacker forced that spill, and then you see the defensive end for the home team. That's number 2, Matt O'Neill, who set that edge and made that tackle for a loss. Good job all around by the Fratmen, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and long situation, but they are punting with the wind.
3rd and 11 setting up at about the 22 as the wind is starting to really swirl, as you said, kicking into the wind and also going to be kicking a little bit to the left. The ball is blown towards center field. Miffed a bit by Lewis. Picks it back up. He'll be brought down at about the 46-yard line. As let's look at your halftime stats here for this matchup so far. 11 first downs for the Fratmen, but the main story, 261 rushing yards, 80 total passing, 341 total offensive yards really has been the story of the night.
That's got to be backwards.
Yeah, that has to be backwards.
They have 261 passing yards because they had the 2 big giant passing plays. So that's just a typo on our. Just flip those 2 gently, and we'll be okay. But nonetheless, the total yardage is there, and you already described that as we open the first second half here.
And here's the first play of the second half of the Fratmen. Mayu with the bullet, and it's complete to Woods. Caught at about the 31.
Yeah, Devin Woods is, I think, a little disappointed in himself. He slipped and lost a little bit of his balance, or else he might have been able to catch and get up that seam. He could have went for a little bit more yards. Wasn't a bad throw. I think you like it just a little lower to sort of protect the receiver from getting hit over the middle. But either way, good completion. It's going to be a 1st down and 10 at the 31-yard line.
1st and 10 as Mayu once again will set up with 3 players to his right. 2 slot backs. Mayu has protection towards the middle to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Fratmen.
Brandon McCraney. Just straight go. Straight go. I'm not sure what the free safety's doing here. There's free safety over the help, and that's a slot go. The Beefeaters, that has to be intercepted or defended better here. I really don't think that was a mismatch. I think the slot, the half thought he had help from his deep safety. I don't understand the coverage behind that there. I think that's just a bad play by the defense. Credit to the offense for exploiting it, but that's just a bad defensive set. That free safety was so flat. That ball was thrown perfectly over the top to run under, but the safety has to be the deepest of the deep. He wasn't. And there you see the touchdown scorer, Brandon McCraney. And Dan Mayhew's having a great game. He's well over 200 yards. He's going to have a completion percentage of probably close to 70% right now, and that's his 3rd touchdown.
Yeah, with that too, I believe that might have just bumped the passing yardage to just about, if not just above, 300 yards for both him and Allen combined. So it's been now just about every week since that loss to Hamilton, this offense has continued to click for the AKO Fratmen.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing is they're finding some balance in the run game because they are picking up positive yards. So they do have some happy harmony in the ease of running some of the ball and then getting those big explosive plays.
Beaton will kick this off once again as we return from about the 5. Ouellet will be brought down at about the 26 as they'll set up again at about that 26-yard line.
And that's the exact thing that happened to start the game. The Fratmen got out explosive. They threw 2 plays. They threw that deep dig square into Devin Woods, caught it for about 16 yards, and then they go right over the top, right to the slot seam, and they score a touchdown. They covered 50-some-odd yards there in 2 plays. That's just exceptionally explosive. The Beefeaters cannot let that happen. They came out flat again to start the second half, just like they were in the first half.
McCallum will set up for 1st and 10 at the 27. Hands it off. No, holds on to it on the play action, but he's brought down for a sack. And it's going to be Alex Valahora who is going to get the sack for the Fratmen.
Good job by Valhora as he was able to maintain his leverage on the outside. He almost sunk in, broke down, and used some speed to get a hold of that jersey right along the hip of McCallum. McCallum's not known for his speed. He's a smart quarterback. He has a good arm. He can show some athleticism, but he's not the fastest of all. He wasn't able to outrun the outstretched arm of Valhora there.
And now it's 2nd and 15 after that sack for a loss of 5. McCallum throwing it to the right sideline, and it's picked off. A one-handed interception as it's Fratman football. Elijah Blythe with the ENT.
Okay, so we have a flag on the play. We're going to see what it is. But that was outstanding coverage regardless of what it is. Let's see the flag. We have illegal contact against Windsor, so that's going to be an automatic first down here. So we'll get the official call from Brent Webster.
We have illegal contact on the defense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
And that was a big opportunity that goes awry after that INT.
Yeah, I actually thought that because of illegal contact, I thought that would reset the down. I thought it should be 1st and 10, even though it was 2nd and 15. But let me be clear here right now. That was perfect coverage by Elijah Blythe. He actually ran the route for the receiver and made a great interception. So let's not take that away because the game took it away. The penalty took it away. So let's give him some credit on that excellent coverage.
Fratman trying to apply pressure, 2nd and 5. McCallum to the sideline as it's popped free. Incompletion after a hard hit by Blythe.
Well, see, there's Elijah Blythe. He's saying to himself, he's like, well, you know what? I just had an interception taken away from me, so I'm angry. It was a good throw. Ball should have been caught, should have been held on to. He catches it there, but he didn't catch it cleanly. Yes, the timing of the hit was good. A legal hit. He got himself into the torso, did not lower his eyes, no targeting in any way, shape, or form. We had an incomplete pass, but the receivers just got to catch that ball. Help your quarterback out. That is another drop. That is not on McCallum. That is indeed on the receiver. But, again, a slow start. Fratman probably will have great field position here for their 2nd drive of the 3rd quarter.
It'll be Cole Spearin once again going back to punt. His first punt of the 2nd half. The snap pushes him back. A very low punt afterwards as Cooper. Flag is down to the back of the play. Trying to weave his way through the defenders as he's going to be swallowed up at about the 38. Finally pushed down at the 36.
I love the aggression there from Marcus Cooper to go get the ball on a short kick. Oftentimes, if you let that thing bounce around, it bounces back to the middle. The refs will blow it dead. He didn't give it a chance to bounce back to the middle. He got the ball, and he crossed midfield, and he gets across the 40-yard line. We have a no yards on top of it. So you see how he aggressively attacked it, and now he's just going to fight for it. And the white jerseys keep pushing forward, and they're going to add 5 extra yards to that run, I believe. And there's the no yards. Perfect. And if you can read lips, that's exactly what he said. We're going to add 5 yards to the end of that run, and that's going to put them just at around the 30-yard line. Yeah, the 31-yard line for their 2nd scrimmage, offensive scrimmage from in the 3rd quarter.
And we have a player being taken to the sideline, Patrick Tape, a linebacker for London, as he'll have to be checked out and evaluated on the sideline. Unfortunate for him as that was on the tackle. Remember, there was a group of 5-6 players surrounding Cooper on that said tackle. 1st and 10 will now set up as Mayu will try and add another touchdown to the Fratmen's offensive totals.
I'd be going to Cooper here in the slot. Instead they give it to the big man.
Allen runs up the middle, and he's tackled at about the 13-yard line. I mean, why not with Allen?
And that's what we mentioned earlier, the balance. You'll see here on the replay, just good push. You get good push from the offensive lineman, and the running backs love the effort, and they keep rumbling there, and Allen has himself a pretty good stat line going forward, and they're going to probably lean on him here. Don't be surprised with a little play action.
He was actually the leading rusher of the first half for the Fratmen. 38 yards on 3 rushes, including a long touchdown. He'll bounce to the right side. Pushes inside the 10 as he's officially brought down at about the 7.
Yeah, and for a big guy, he has really like gentle feet, without saying he's soft-footed. It just naturally glides. He bounced that out to the outside. He lowered the boom there, and you just see his feet just gently shuffle, spins back. He's falling forward most of the time. That's a good, tough run from the newcomer to this Fratman offense.
2nd and 4 after the 6-yard rush. Allen will stay the back. Colton Allen. Throws it to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. Omar Hayes-Williams.
No, I think that was it Omar or Devin? No, it looks like you're right. It was Omar, but either way, that's Dan Mayu throwing a back shoulder fade. Outstanding throw. That was a laser bullet. You'll see here he's going to throw to that back cone on the right side of our screen, and he just throws it to the back shoulder. And that is outstanding effort by a veteran receiver to let the DB run past him. He turns to his back shoulder, gets his hands away from his body, catches the ball, and easily converts the touchdown.
And the extra point is up and good. So the Fratman offense continuing to cruise 41-7. And we've talked about it a little bit. This offense has been in cruise control for a few weeks now. It's becoming very hard to stop them, it seems.
It is, and I think the one thing that people are really going to have to take note of is how fast these two quarterbacks are picking up the pace of play in this league. They look like completely different players from the opening game against Hamilton. They appear to have confidence. They appear to find rhythm. They're appearing to understand the offense, and most importantly, I think they're actually understanding what the defenses are doing. Good on the coaches, good on the players. This might make them a genuine threat to challenge Hamilton.
And Beaton will kick things off meanwhile as we return from about the 3. Olenek jukes to the middle as he'll be brought down at about the 21, maybe the 22.
All the enthusiasm.
Real quickly, let's look at your 2018 schedule for the Windsor AKO Fratmen for the OFC. After this game, they will take on the Hamilton Hurricanes on the road, followed by the GTA Grizzlies. Then there is one last home game on the schedule for the regular season, Sunday, September 30th, against GTA as well. That is a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. You can tune into that on we-tv.ca. And the next time you see this team against the Fratmen and the Beefeaters would be in London to end off that regular season schedule. About 8 minutes to go in the quarter as flags are thrown. I think it might be offsides, maybe.
Yeah, there was a lot of jumping going on. We're going to see if they're going to call. Could be Matt O'Neill who jumped, and there was far side jump too. Valhora looked like he jumped, and that is indeed the case. We have offsides, and that's going to move them back, make up a second
Offside,
first down.
defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, 1st and 5 here, staying the course. I think they're trying to stay the course. If their rhythm is going on hard counts, I wouldn't be surprised if they run the ball again. Give it to their best player.
1st and 5, quick play to Vane Bell. Trying to go to the right sideline as he's brought down by Jalen Butcher.
That play initially looked like it was going to be huge. They ran a middle screen. The Fratmen are renowned for bringing pressure right up the gut and hard off the edge. One way or another, the pressure came, and they ended up getting it, but they retraced their steps. The linebackers full up, and look at the chase from everybody, and that's Jalen Butcher this time getting low on the tackle, and it only turned out to be about a yard and a half gain. Good job by the Fratmen rallying to the ball, because initially that looked like it was going to go for a lot more yards than it did.
2nd and 3, as 3 slot backs will set up on the left side of the field. McCallum looks to the left, throws it towards the middle, it's complete. A very tough catch, looks like to be caught by Bailey Holmes.
Yeah, and the indication is a catch. Everyone is saying it's a catch. Some people thought, and maybe our replay crew is going to give us a good look to see if it was indeed a catch. But it's a good effort here as McCallum's going to look at the deep dig from his left, and we see the ball get just out of our screen. However, it was so close that you have to go with what the initial bang call was. We have no definitive, and there's no replay in this league. So anyway you add it together, first down with about a 17-yard completion.
1st and 10 at the 42 as the OFC Game of the Week continues on. McCallum throws it, almost picked off. Broken up by Jalen Butcher.
What a tremendous play by Jalen. He read that, dissected, and was able to get through there. And you'll see here on the replay, the quarterback locked into his receiver. And if he handles that cleanly, there's a chance he walks into the end zone going the other way. But you can see the enthusiasm. The Fremen are amped up right now, and the sideline for the Beefeaters is very, very flat.
And now they'll set up for 2nd and 10 as they'll try and do anything here. Set up at the 42, about 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. McCollum looks towards the middle as it's incomplete. Intended for Luke Torrijny.
And that's going to bring up a punting situation. I'm a little concerned. I just saw something I didn't really like in the middle of that pile with the offensive line. It looked like there was a high-low combination block. That's a very dangerous block. I can't confirm for sure from my angle. We have a very veteran refereeing crew, especially with the head referee and the umpire. So I'm not going to question whether they missed something there or not, but it looked like a dangerous play from my vantage point here as the Beefeaters are set to punt.
Setting up to return once again will be Cooper on the left side. Dante Lewis will set up on the right. As here we go. Going to be tracked down by Lewis. There's the no yards flags as Lewis brings it down across towards center field as it'll be knocked out at about the AKO 54.
And this is going to be the 15-yard variety because the ball was caught in the air. So that is going to add to that run, and it's going to move the ball into the Beefeater territory. And we have the call, and we're going to get the official voice call in a moment right now from the head referee, Brent Webster.
Here's the call.
No yards. On the kicking team, 15-yard penalty from the spot of possession, first down.
With that, that's going to move the ball into the territory for the London Beefeaters. But an interesting fact involving this Fratman offense, since the opening loss, the Fratmen have outscored their opposition 166-30. That is a heck of a lot of points as Mayu sets up for 1st and 10 of the 52. Quick play to Cooper. Rushes across the 50 as he's brought down at the 47.
Yeah, the one thing I would have suggested there to Marcus Cooper is maybe not have as much hesitation. He jumped that to the inside, stopped in his tracks, and then jumped. I think if he would have just sprinted to the sideline, he might have gotten a stiff arm on a guy. And if he gets that stiff arm on a guy, he might have went up that left sideline because he's fast enough to take it to the house. Either way, good throw, good catch, 2nd down and manageable. Would not be surprised to see just a straight inside zone running play here as the box for the Beefeaters is opened up.
2nd and 5 as Mayu gives it out to Preer. Preer pushes forward for about 3, but this will be about 3rd and 2.
And that to me is a little bit of inexperience, I think. And first of all, it looks like Brandon Jennings is down. He's on a knee, but he looks like they're going to bring the punt unit on. I would have liked to seen Mayu check off there and possibly go to the other way. And that is Brandon Jennings. He got his left leg sort of twisted up in the pile there on that run. And I'm not sure what the severity is as we see Sean Haskett, the trainer, going out to talk to him. But it's he was in some discomfort on the ground at the immediate part of the play. But we'll see if it's something quite severe. As you see here on the replay, he's going to get piled on from behind and his ankle and leg gets caught up as he's bent over the pile. So his leg got stuck. His leg did get stuck. We're hoping that it's nothing too serious, but nonetheless, there he is. He's just taking a deep breath. He's going to get a couple of his teammates out on the field to help him off the field.
While he's helped off the field, we'd like to remind everyone that the Windsor Spitfires are getting ready for their home opener coming up on September 20th at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time against the Guelph Storm. There are still lots of great tickets available. You can either get your tickets online at wfcu-center.com, in person at the box office, or by phone at 509-254-5000 extension 1. But with that, Jennings being brought to the sideline, one of the big offensive lineman presence is the Fratmen have their most veteran presence on that offensive line as well. And you never want to see a player get hurt.
Unquestionably, he is their best lineman. And if they're going to have a candidate for any kind of all-star, my guess it would be him. He's just nasty. He's the kind of lineman I like.
Beaton will now punt things away as we picked up about the 18. Return by Waller. Waller going down the sideline as he'll be knocked out at about the 46.
Beaton is an angry little kicker. He's going to have to yell at his coverage team right now because he kicks that ball, and they're not helping him out by keeping containment, but he's there to clean up the mess as he made that tackle out of bounds. But a great effort there making the tackle nonetheless.
Speaking of great things, you want to see our next broadcast? You can see some great Windsor AKO Fratmen football action as they take on the GTA Grizzlies for their final home game of the season, Sunday, September 30th. Estimated kickoff time is set for 1 p.m. Eastern Time at the University of Windsor Alumni Field on we-tv.ca.
Yeah, the Fratmen play next 3 games in a row on Sundays, which is a little bit awkward for this league to have multiple games on Sundays like that.
Meanwhile, trying to break off. Here we go. Vane Bell will go out of bounds at about the 46.
Yeah, so this is eerily similar to the first half. Fratmen get off to a quick start. Beefeaters can't respond. Then the Fratmen stutter a little. They run a little double sort of pull off the left side. I'm not sure if that's a counter or more of a power play, but nonetheless, Van Bell's able to get through the hole and pick up a big chunk of yards there. He's likely close to over 100 yards by now in the game. He is a talent, but maybe a little late. They may have to abandon the run soon and go exclusively to the air to save some time.
Gets 74 yards in the first half as a flag is down right before McCown threw it.
Yeah, that's a false start. That was just a lot of inconsistency. There might have been 2 or 3 jumps. Like the snap count looked like it was supposed to be hard, but some of the guys responded like it was supposed to be a normal cadence. Center didn't snap the ball, and here's the call.
Procedure. Offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Yeah, so it's going to bring up that 15 yards on first down to go here.
Let's get back to Vane Bell for a quick second because Coach LaChance told Mr. Waters from the CJFL that he tried to recruit Tazzy, in fact, and he's one of those backs where if you give him a little bit of a check, he will go for 70 yards.
Yeah, if he gets a seam, he's gone. He's talented and he's fast.
Speaking of fast, here comes the scrambling McCollum, trying to scramble out of the pocket as he's brought down at about the 49.
Yeah.
That was on 1st and 15. It'll be now 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and that's just too much back-end coverage there. The Fratmen have really taken away McCallum's first read, and he isn't even going to his second read because he's getting preoccupied by the rush here. So he looks, can't get there, and he's now pulling it down and scrambling. So, I mean, maybe he's in a little bit of a panic mode, but that's a very, very good tackle by the middle linebacker, Anthony Garham, number 5 there, and that's going to bring up a 2nd down and long.
2nd and 12 on the field with just about 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. McCollum throws on the screen, has his man as he's tackled at about the 48. Picked up by Cody Young.
Yeah, and Elijah Blight did a nice job of coming up from his corner position and making the tackle there. They try a little bit of an inside run fake, and they take that slot receiver who might do a wham under certain circumstances to kick out. They release him to the flat. Nothing having done by the Fratmen defense. They wanted to see nothing of that. They're going to end up just taking his legs out, and there is an injury on the field. We can't see the number right now. That looks like it's number 33 for the home squad.
That would be Carter Wood, defensive end.
he's walking off under his own power. Maybe he just got a shot in the ribs, and it's a physical game. Sometimes you're going to get banged up, but he's walking off under his own power, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, you never want to see a player get hurt for sure. You know what, we're just under 2 minutes now in this third quarter with a 3rd and 12 coming up. And London is going for it. McCallum sets on up. 3 slot backs now moving. McCallum tries to step up, swallowed up from the defense, throws it up the middle, it's incomplete. And now we have shoving as this is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. A big shoving match at about the 40.
Yeah, and I mean, that just, I don't know what they're going to do, but that was number 3, and you see him in the screen, Lakin Ndau, who, he swung. This might be an ejection, and if indeed that's the case, it was after the play, so I'm assuming the down is going to count. It's going to be 3rd down, and the Fratmen are going to get the ball back, but if they indeed, you'll see here, McCallum does a good job of at least sort of getting this off. But after the play, there's some shoveling and jostling, and there's the swing. And if they're going to call that, and he took another swing at that, plain as day in the screen. So it is indeed, you're seeing the call here from Brent Webster. So I'm not sure what they were saying, but we're going to get the call right now.
We have rough play on the defense. The player has ejected himself from the game with his actions. It was a dead ball foul. It'll be AKO's ball, 1st down, 25-yard penalty assessed.
Yeah, so any kind of disqualification is a 25-yard penalty. So it was dead ball, which meant the incompletion stood. It was after the play, so the turnover on downs did indeed happen, but then the ejection from the throwing of the punch, he now has to leave the sideline. He's got to go inside. He can't be on the bench area. It's I believe, the rules. But now I'm just looking to see. I don't see Brandon Jennings anywhere on the sideline, which means he probably went into the change room as the Fratman offense comes out. And it looks like it's number 64 who's going to be replacing him, and that's Mike McLaughlin, who is now going in at the left guard, replacing Brandon Jennings.
Mayu now in at quarterback as well. With all that confusion, we're now going to set up at the 24-yard line with 1:41 to go in the third quarter. One safety set up deep as whistles are called. It looks like just trying to sync things up maybe.
And there's a look at the sideline for the home team.
And Jennings is just coming towards that sideline right now, in fact, from the locker room to the left of where the press box is here at Alumni Field. As you look at that Beefeaters sideline, got to be wondering, though, what's going through their heads, Badi.
Yeah, and they really are shooting themselves in the foot with their slow start. They're just not helping themselves out, and right now the referees are saying, listen, number 3's got to get off the sideline. He's got to go back to the dressing room. He cannot remain on the field, and that's what the bench is saying. He will not be allowed. He must be escorted off, and that's indeed what's happening right now. The referees will not allow this game to continue until the disqualified player has left the bench area. They have lost the right to remain with their team once you're disqualified, and now you're going to get the blow-in from the whistle from the head referee to return to scrimmage play with 1:41 left in this third quarter.
I was going to say, I was still seeing him along that sideline. Either way, Mayu up the middle, incomplete. Intended for Lewis.
Boy, he had him again, and this time one of the few errant throws in the seam from Mayu. You'll see here on the replay, showing some great poise, but he just got it a little too high off his back shoulder, as Dante Lewis knew he had a chance for a big one there. If that ball was on him, we might very well have seen another monster explosive play from this Fratman offense.
2nd and 10 at the 24-yard line as we're just under 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Mayu steps up to the offensive line. Looking to the left on the pass. Gets it to Cooper. Cooper runs to the sideline. Goes out at about the 44, maybe the 45.
And that's exactly what I wanted to see him do the last time he caught that quick hitch. Turn to the outside, he's fast enough to beat people, and he didn't even need a stiff arm there. Excellent job by Mayu getting the ball in a position where he can catch it cleanly, and then just use your speed. Arm up. I don't need a stiff arm. I'm just faster than you, 13. And then there he goes up. And like you said, he crossed the 40-yard line almost all the way to the 50-yard line. Great job by Marcus Cooper of using his skill sets to his advantage, which is speed.
They mark it down at the 47-yard line as Mayu signals the slot backs forward. An error quick hitch to Cooper. Breaks one tackle, but is grabbed to get down to about the 52.
Yeah, and that time I'll give credit to the corner. He came up and made a play, but boy, are these corners playing so far off right now. They are really giving up 15, 16, 17 yards. So maybe it's time for the Fratmen to run some sort of speed out from the inside if they run Marcus Cooper off, because now you're going to get probably an easy completion at around 12, 15 yards if they can do some sort of outcut.
Second down and about 6 as Mayu scrambles to the left. 3 defenders coming. Throws it out of the pressure. Oh my goodness, it's caught. Omar Hayes-Williams gets it after a deflection off 2 different defenders.
Well, when it's going well, it's going well. Dan Mayu making something out of nothing. He scrambles his eyes downfield. He wants to throw. Turns his shoulders, throws it. Probably an ill-advised throw because should have been picked off. Good concentration. That's just an excellent job of making sure you get your eyes to the ball and seeing it. Great job by Omar Hayes-Williams.
And that deflected off Red Cup, then just, I think, grazed the arm of Antonio Bentley. And how about that to end off your third quarter? Fratmen lead 41-7 as they're just a few moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. We'll be back in just a moment on we-tv.ca.
Windsor started a tradition way back of giving us great barbecue north of the border, and you can taste that tradition when you come to Tommy's Barbecue. Dive into Tommy's rotisserie-style ribs and chicken, along with the crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, and the original hot and sweet sauces. Plus all those amazing desserts like Black Forest cake and strawberry cheesecake. Taste the tradition and so much more at Tommy's Barbecue, 999 Erie Street East. See you there, Windsor.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario, as the AKL Fratmen start off with a quick pass to Omar Hayes-Williams. Pushes down the sideline as he gets to the 18. So 2 big plays in a row by Omar Hayes-Williams to start off this quarter.
Yeah, he's, after being quiet in the first half with only 1 catch, I think that's his 4th catch of this half. He's got a touchdown already in this half. He's now putting his stamp on it. He's just a big physical receiver, but he's a veteran receiver, very smart. He protects the ball, protects himself, and he is never afraid to block for his teammates, which is why I think he's such a valuable asset to this offense.
It's now at the 19-yard line, meanwhile. Fratmen in the red zone as Mayu scrambles to the right, throws out of the sack as it's incomplete. Intended for Lewis.
That's a safe throw. I think as he stepped up into the pocket, he realized that he could maybe fit one in, but there was no real presence from the safety over top of that. So get it out of there, incomplete pass. Maybe they're going to kick a field goal. It doesn't look like it. Looked like Mayu's going to stay on the field. They are into the wind. It's just swirling all over the place, so that might factor in. But I'm a little surprised. I think practicing in these situations is a good thing because you never know when you're going to have to kick that field goal to win a game. In blustering conditions, you need game practice, and it would only be about a 28-yard field goal.
2nd and 10. Mayu to the hitch to Cooper. Cuts to the middle. Has a bit of a break. As we brought down at about the 7.
And that's going to be another first down there. And that was a good job by Marcus Cooper of realizing that he's got to turn it up the field at some point. Long throw, took a little bit of time to get there, realized he won't get outside leverage from the position he caught the ball, was able to use his quickness to work his way into the middle of the field, and then once he saw a vertical seam, he turned it up the field, nosed forward for a first down. Now we're in an and goal situation for the Fratmen.
And now 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Approaching 2 minutes into the 4th quarter. Mayu throws it to the end zone, and it's incomplete, but flags are down. We might have pass interference maybe.
There is no might there. There is clearly pass interference, as the intended receiver was Michael Ryan. The corner, it looks like it was number 31, Jordan Travis, might have been the one in coverage, and there is the indication, pass interference. So if I'm not mistaken, this ball is going to move an inch closer.
Pass interference, defense, ball will be spotted on the 1-yard line, first down.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get to with the foul happening in the end zone. You're going to put it at the 1-yard line, and now you're going to see the Fratmen probably just turn and give it to their big man, Andrew Allen, who's going to be the feature back in this set. He's set deep at tailback.
Nathaniel Ganish also coming in as the snap is botched. Mayu forced to throw, wide open, end zone, touchdown. Omar Hayes-Williams.
Botch snap, probably was going to be a run, scramble nonetheless, and good job by the quarterback to have the calmness to pick up the ball, realize he's not under pressure. Okay, see a receiver, throw it. He's growing up in our eyes, and if he keeps doing that, you never know. He could end up being the only quarterback, because Colton Allen, who's playing well, Dan Mayhew's really putting his stamp on this game right now.
And a chance to make it to 48-7 as we're just under 3 minutes into the 4th quarter.
And we do have a penalty here, just some taunting, objectionable conduct. It looked like Omar, after he caught the ball, a gentle little flip of the ball to the DB.
And then I think the DB projected it back to him. That was Neff Portillo, I believe.
They're just, no one's going to be happy. Receivers love to talk, and DBs don't like that, and the game is clearly in favor of the Fratmen right now. So we're going to get an explanation. Coach Marshall wants an explanation.
Either way, we got an extra point getting all set up here, but as this is a chance again to make it 48-7, you got to think. A lot of teams consider the Fratmen as kind of like a measuring stick of sorts of where your standards are. As we'll see where Beaton goes up, kicks it in. It's 48-7. But everyone's really using a lot of matchups against the Fratmen as a measuring stick. What do you think London is going to do with trying to compare themselves after this matchup?
Yeah, it's crazy. You're right. People do measure themselves up, usually against the best, and there's no surprise that the Fratmen have been declared the best for a lot of years. The Hamilton Hurricanes unquestionably amp up to play against this very Fratmen team, so they sent a message early. I think London is just, more so than anything, their measuring stick right now shouldn't be against the Fratmen. Their measuring stick is against themselves. Stop making so many mistakes and get off the bus. Get off the bus and play the game. They came out slow to start the game, and now we have talking. And there's a flag right now, which is going to move this kick back up. Somebody from the London bench was talking.
Objectionable conduct. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
So the advantage they just gained from moving it back is going to be granted back to them. So they're going to move that back up. Stop talking. You're losing. Get your focus, play. But the Beefeaters need to fix themselves right now. Fix themselves.
And I believe that flag was called on Jackson Werstein, who is right in the vicinity of that flag. But you're right. You got to keep your composure, even down as much as they are right now, 48-7, as the Fratmen will set up for the kickoff once again. Beatty will lead them down once again. Tracked down at about maybe the 15-yard line. Returned by Ualat. He's going to be tackled at about the 37-yard line. In decent field position for London, but just the one offensive touchdown as an hour flag is thrown on the play. An hour flag has just been thrown on the field. It looks like by Jemmy.
Yeah, Alex Jemmy, very veteran official. He has worn the white hat a number of games, and we do see the objectionable conduct call against the Beefeaters, and there's 2 of them. So now we're going to see 20 yards walked off, probably said something, and then probably repeated it. And you're going to get 2 here on the call.
Objectionable conduct, London. Second objectionable conduct, London.
And wow.
See, if I'm Coach Marshall right now, I don't care. You're not winning this game right now. I'm calling a timeout, and I got to talk to my team and my players. I got to send them a message. This game is done, but don't you lose your composure. Play 4 quarters. Play with pride. Give yourself an opportunity. The outcome is unquestionably done. I can't see something happening with only 10, 12 minutes left in the game, but I would be asking my team, this is a measuring stick like you said. Are we measuring up, or are we going to completely collapse down? If we can measure up and play the last quarter with some semblance of pride moving forward, when Windsor has to travel to London, you could win that game. You never know. Windsor could stumble along the way. Maybe London beats Hamilton. The whole playoff picture changes. Now, if everything stays the same and London ends up 3, London's going to have to come back to Windsor again, a 3rd time. You're going to match up a 3rd time this season, because the 2-3 match up in the first round of the playoffs. You're going to have to come back here. Keep your composure. Find some semblance of balance to finish this game.
McCallum sets up for 1st and 10, as that's going to be incomplete. Vane Bell, the intended receiver, on the screen. And real quickly, one of our presenting sponsors for tonight's coverage is Nodis Athletic Incorporated, established in 1946, specializing in your football equipment and more. As you can see, the Fratman bench now with 2nd and 10 coming up. A big lead, and we're just seeing there a misexecution on the screen. McCollum sets up for 2nd and 10 at the 18-yard line. Looks towards the right side. Throws it to open coverage. It's complete. Knocked out at about the 38-yard line. Caught by Mitchell Spence.
Okay, good protection. Good throw. And that's right now what you want to see. You want to see your players compete. So I'd like to see that big arm being showcased right there. Threw it in a good spot for his receiver to make the play. Receiver this time confidently caught the ball with his hands, turned it up the field, picked up a 1st down. Let's see if the Beefeaters can find some rhythm here to finish off this game.
McCallum sets up at the 38-yard line. Still a lot of time to go. Higher up snap as he rolls to the right. Throws it to the sideline. And I think he might have just been out of bounds, intended for Spencer Foster.
Yeah, well, our field announcer's calling it a catch, but yes, now finally the correction is there, and your eye served you perfectly fine there, Justin. It was indeed out of bounds, bringing up that 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 38 after the pass that went towards the right sideline, but unable to keep his feet in was Spencer Foster. Foster will set up on the outside as the receiver spot. McCallum hands it off. Vane Bell off to the races. He dots at about the 50. Swallowed up and brought down at about the 31.
He doesn't need a lot of space. He is talented, and this is just something that I know the coach is going to say, we got to keep running the ball. They run a little counter, bring the guard and tackle over. The linemen get down the field, make a play, and you see just the athleticism, the strength to carry a defender as he gets tackled, eventually at the 30-yard line going in. A little too late, but we do have an injury with the Fratmen, and that's number 52 for the home squad. That's Josh Allen.
The trainer immediately rushing over to check Josh Allen. Again, another real quickly, we'd like to remind you our next broadcast of Windsor AKO Fratmen football on WeTV is Sunday, September 30th. That'll be against the GTA Grizzlies in what should be a great match of the final home game of the regular season for the Fratmen. Estimated kickoff time is 1 p.m. Eastern Time at Alumni Field. With that, Allen's going to be brought off the field.
He's looking a little woozy there, and I mean, that was the referee immediately calling to the sideline, come take a look at your man here, just to secure that there is no head trauma. They are going to examine him. My guess is he's done for the game.
11:16 to go on the clock as another flag thrown on the play, this time again at the line of scrimmage.
Looked like a receiver was about 4 yards offside, and it looked like it was a running play.
Yep, and now our legal procedure looks like coming up.
So we'll get the official offsides call right now.
Offside, offense, 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the down.
And that's something I kind of want to ask because there's been a lot of flags, especially on the Beefeaters drives. It started more with flags from the defense from the Fratmen. Now they're starting to have a lot of flags building up.
Yeah, but all of these flags are pre-snap. That's like 3 or 4 that are offside. Can't have them. A receiver on what looked like a running play. That's unacceptable.
1st and 15 is coming up here. Shifting blockers up. McCallum tries to get another screen, but incomplete. Vane Bell, the intended receiver, as that's the second pass set up on that kind of play that goes incomplete to his left.
Bad throw. Quarterback just never got his body turned in a good position to dump that off. And because he never got himself in a good position, he shuffled it forward. And just an ugly pass. And there was some blockers out there as number 10 was able to get a lick in on number 54. So that was Austin Allen Crothers, who was able to knock Blake Olette down, which if the completion was there, he might have had some room along that far sideline.
That'll lead to 2nd and 15. The Beefeaters looking for at least one more positive drive. Similar play formation. McCallum throws an interception. It's picked off. And an offensive lineman able to pick that off as it's Jordan Krug.
That is awesome. Awesome work from a defensive lineman, defensive tackle on the interior, recognizing that they're going to have a little dump off screen. He peels off and says, I got you. And he really did get you. He saw they were trying to set that middle screen up, peeled back. Tremendous job. Excellent play. You don't really get to see a lot of defensive linemen do that, but when they do, the entire team erupts. Wait till they see that on film. They're going to love that.
They're already loving it right now on the sideline. All of his teammates are pumping up. His own coaches and staff members also pumping him up. It's as Colton Allen sets up for the next drive.
All right, the Fratmen got lucky there. We got a timeout. But the Fratmen had 13 men on the field and in that scrimmage, so they should have been actually flagged. They got away with it because it looked like the sideline called the timeout.
I was just about to say, I seen Dylan Samuel starting to rush towards the sideline, and then they call the timeout right at that moment.
Yeah, once.
Real quickly, one of our presenting sponsors for tonight is Harold Remark. If you're looking for your next home, contact Royal LePage, Binder Real Estate. But getting back to that, for that 13 men on the field, it again looked kind of miscommunication, as you were trying to say there, and they're lucky to get the timeout.
Yeah, and for Coach LaChance, he's going to try to talk to his guys. Hey, if we make substitutions late in the game, we can't be burning timeouts. Here's your chance to get in. Don't screw this up.
1st and 10 now at the 42. Allen fakes the handoff. Throws it to Preer. Preer juke moves a man as he's brought down at the 42.
Yeah, he almost got away from that there. They look like they tried a little inside zone RPO, fake the run, take a man off, and get that ball out real quick. But good pursuit from the Beefeaters as Preer makes one man miss. But the tackle comes in from the linebacker, number 51, Mo Kadri, who made a nice play to wrap him up and bring him down.
Gain of 1 officially on the play as Allen going to pass it on 2nd and 9. Scrambles out of the pocket, throws into motion, it's complete. Jared Hayes-Williams able to make this catch to get it to about the 48.
Yeah, that was Colton Allen telling Dan Mayu, I see you, because he says, listen, you're playing well, but I can make plays too. What a wonderful competition this is turning into for this Fratman team. They have 2 real good quarterbacks, and the thing is, it doesn't usually work when you actually go quarter by quarter. At some point, the hot hand usually takes over. Early in the season, it's still the first half. Coach LaChance is going to probably do this, but he's going to have a decision to make soon moving into the playoffs.
Allen sets up for 1st and 10. Throws it to the right side, complete. And LaFontaine going to be brought down at about the 44.
Yeah, it was 13 on 13. So that was Jay Zal Murray, and he's makes the tackle on number 13. On number 13, as you see into our screen, and that was Kyle LaFontaine. Big arm from Colton Allen to give himself a 2nd down and more manageable at around 6.5, 7 yards.
2nd and 6, ball placed at the 43. As now looks like the officials are talking to Coach LaChance down the sideline real quick.
Yeah, they're telling the coaches that you got to take LaFontaine out of the field because he possibly might have been hit high. No, actually, they're allowing him to remain, so I'm not sure exactly what that conference was, but it looked like they had referenced 13 by pointing at him. Nonetheless, it's going to be a 2nd down and mid-range at 6.
They'll set up with a fullback to the left. Allen throws a bullet. It's complete. Caught by Hayes-Williams again. Still spinning around as he's brought down to the 17. Jared Hayes-Williams with the catch.
You know what Jared Hayes-Williams just said? Hey, big brother Omar, I see you too. And I'm not going to let you outshine me. So he's going to come back and fight. And he makes a shoestring type catch and then breaks a couple tackles. He's got 4 guys all over him. He's like, hey, big bro, little bro wants to play too. Great job. The Fratmen are competing despite the score being so lopsided. Everyone out there is still fighting. I love that. I don't think it's running up the score. I see some backups in. They're trying to get themselves their full rhythm with whoever is in. Good for them. Colton Allen deserves that opportunity. It's his quarter.
And now they're spotting the ball all the way at the 2. Unnecessary roughness has been called on that tackle, I think on the tackle as well.
And unlike in the U.S. where it's half the distance to the goal, they march this the full yards until they run out of yards. That's why it's at the 1.
1st and goal rather at the 2-yard line. Allen hands it off to Preer. Preer pushing across the goal line. And I think he got it. Touchdown, Fratmen.
Yeah, I just love that effort from the O-line who tried to push their man in. And Nash Preer, nice to see him find the end zone there. Good all-around effort from Colton Allen to Jared Hayes-Williams. And you see here, they just going to push, turn his shoulders, drive his feet, and watch his lineman just sort of come in and say, I'm going to carry you in here. Even though I didn't make a great block, I'm going to pull you into the end zone. And that's indeed what happened, which is allowed. And good on the Fratmen to try to fight to get their man that touchdown. Good. They put a 50 burger up here, and the team's just fighting hard.
Rodney Boudreaux was the one who help push him forward along with Andrew Allen as the extra point's good. It's 55-7 for the Windsor AKO Fratmen. And at this point now, what do you expect London to do to try and, as we've seen the Fratmen clear some players off the bench, do you expect now the Beefeaters to try and clear some and get some players experience that way?
I believe so. I think it's time to get Clark McCallum off the field. I think it's time to get Van Bell off the field. Van Bell, you're not padding any stats right now. He already has over 100 yards. He probably has close to 150. He scored the lone touchdown. Get him off the field. He's got his numbers. You don't want to get him hurt. He is talented. As you see the schedule here, you see 3 straight Sunday games in a row, and the 2 rematches, you'll see Hamilton again and you'll see London. But the weird one is those back-to-back against GTA on the road, and then the final home closer on Sunday, September 30th here at Alumni Field at 1 o'clock.
3 of the last 4 rather, on the road, as you see, as that's going to be a squib kick. Returned by Jordan Travis. Trying to get himself down, but brought down at the 37. So Jordan Travis gets it to the 37, so decent field position for the Beefeaters as they have 7:19 on the clock. And we'll see if they're going to go with the bench move as they're trying to decide what they're going to do here. It looks like they're going to keep McCallum in the game for at least one more drive.
Yeah, I did see Van Bell about to walk out to the field and the coach say, nope, come right back. So if maybe they're just going to hand the ball off, there's nothing wrong with keeping McCallum in the game. If they're going to try and sling it here, I think you run too much of a risk of hurting your team if he takes a shot and gets hurt.
Yeah, that is the one risk if you play your starters, risking injury. As 1st and 10 of the 40. Handed off once again. Uelat gets a decent gain. Should be maybe about 2nd and 5.
I don't recall if there was an injury to the offensive line of the Beefeaters, but you see how that ball is fluttering. That is possibly the worst thing a quarterback can handle, a ball that is flipping end over end like that. A lot of teams use the one-handed tip of the ball shotgun snap, but it's never fluttering like that. It's usually a dead ball. I did not notice if they changed the center recently, but that's about 4 or 5 snaps in a row that I noticed just look awkward relaying to the quarterback.
McCallum hands it off again. Uelat pushes across the first down chains as he's tackled at the 51.
And as I suspected, if they're going to keep McCallum in and they're just going to run the ball, I think that's what they're going to try to do. Maybe give their backup running backs, their lead blockers, a chance if indeed they do have some extra linemen on the field. Most teams don't travel with more than 7 linemen. As you take a look at some of the bigs for the Fratmen who are getting their rest, as they have all been in, and some of them have subbed in, of course, so they're giving them a little bit of a break. Let's just hope that the big plug for the Fratmen, who's Brandon Jennings, isn't hurt. Again, another high snap.
Big trouble on the snap, as that's going to lead to a sack rather, as McCallum's brought down for a loss of 1 or 2.
And I don't know if it's a backup. I wish I knew exactly. I don't have a depth chart right now to confirm whether or not he was the starting center. But this second half, I have noticed a couple early, and now it's becoming every single down. Sometimes it's just the pressure from the defense that can put a little bit of scare or panic into snapping. I mean, that's a position I've played, and I know from familiarity, like, big bodies are tough to handle, and when you got a shotgun, it can be a problem.
And another blown snap. Tracked down by Van Bell, as that's going to be a huge loss, tackled at about the 36.
Yeah, something's got to give, though. You got to either get him off the field, try somebody else. Look, there's no shot for McCallum to make this, and now everyone's just hoping no one gets hurt.
It's going to be 3rd and 26 as the special teams unit comes out now. At this point, with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds as it winds down on the clock. I think at this point, do you expect the Fratmen maybe run down the clock as soon as they get it?
Absolutely, they probably turn and hand the ball off. But you know what? Colton Allen has earned the right. He was playing the second and fourth quarter. If they want to throw the ball, they have practice. They have their two quarterbacks, and they probably have scripts for both quarterbacks as we get a timeout from the visitors.
Timeout called by London. That's looks to be, in fact, is their final timeout, as they used a lot of time on the clock. Real quick, we'd like to remind you once again that the 2018-19 home opener for the Windsor Spitfires is right around the corner, as they'll take on the Guelph Storm on September the 20th. There are still lots of great tickets available. You can get those tickets online at wfcu-center.com, in person at the box office, or by phone at 519-254-5000, extension 1. And a beautiful look at the Ambassador Bridge here, Badee. Of course, border city, Windsor, just across the river from Detroit.
Just across the river. An absolutely gorgeous view, like you said. Great work by our camera crew as they bring us back down a field level for this upcoming punt. We are enjoying a cool evening here in Windsor, and our camera crew has given you a great vantage point on every single replay and every single play for this entire game for what turns out to be a rout and a bad snap again.
This is going to be more troubles. Able to get it punted off, though, one of the deepest ones of the night as the catch is booted. Lewis can't get back onto it. The Beefeaters jump on the ball, and it looks like it might be going their way. Yes, it is. So the biggest positive of the night so far after a botched return. I believe that might have been maybe Dante Fornicero, but I believe it was Lewis, if we can, as you'll see here on this replay.
Yeah, and maybe that's number 18.
Yes, it is Lewis.
Yeah, it is Lewis. It bounces right through his wickets onto his knee, and then it is then recovered by the visitors. And unfortunately for the Fratmen, that's just a mistake they didn't want to see. And the reason why they don't want to see it more so than anything is usually on special teams, even in games that are this blown wide open, your starters play. You don't have enough reps to not play your starters, so you keep your ones on there. You want to see good things from your ones. They didn't see good things from their ones there.
McCallum will hand things off on 1st and 10. Vane Bell has wide open zones as he rushes to the end zone. Touchdown, Beefeaters.
Yeah, far side containment, end wasn't set, and he didn't set that edge very hard. He sunk inside of that, and that was just a straight sprint to the end there. And you'll see right there that the defensive end just got himself caught in the wash, and that's number 54 for the home team, Blake Olette. He has to attack the outside corner, and when you have a talented, speedy receiver who he'll just outrun his blocks. His blocks were coming. He's like, I don't need you guys. I'm going right to that far cone. Walked it in. Heck, he could be close to 200 yards right now, and that being his second touchdown as we see the extra point.
Chance to bring it to 55-14, and they will do so. So 55-14 brings the lead to a respectable 41-point deficit, with about 3:33 to go on the clock.
I don't know if respectable is the right word there.
I was trying to be respectable with the wording, too.
Yeah, maybe so. I just know that there's no way this Beefeater team thought they were going to get beaten up. They were outplayed on almost every level. The Fratmen were outplayed by Hamilton, just like this. And the Fratmen have responded with 3 straight wins to put themselves in a good spot. We'll see if the Beefeaters can respond similar to the way the Fratmen did, because the Fratmen were beat up by a score of this much and that home opener against Hamilton. The challenge is going to be, as you're about to flip to the halfway point of the season, are the Beefeaters going to respond and actually build? Or are they going to fold their tent? So it's gut check time for every single one of the players on that far sideline.
And here we go once again. This will be a bit of an onside kick, in fact. Fratmen jump on top of it.
The Beefeaters get it.
Wow. So a heck of a call there to go for the onside kick. And they were able to grab it just before it bounces out down around the 41.
Yeah, that's just poor preparation. You got to expect something like this right now. The Fratmen were just sort of just waiting around. No one really reacted too quickly to that ball. And in Canada, unlike in American or college football in the U.S., where you actually have to recover it cleanly inbounds, you just have to be the last person to touch it in this country. So whether he had possession or not, he batted it. They get the ball back, and we have the final timeout from the Fratmen because, I mean, I think they only have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 players. That's well short of who they should have. But again, they're making a lot of substitutions, so Coach Lachance calls the timeout to get all 12 on the field.
And now both teams will huddle up, at least the London sidelines offense huddling on up.
I am shocked, though, Justin, that London hasn't tried to go no huddle. And the only reason why I say that is you're not coming back in this game, but you need to practice that. You need to get into that kind of rhythm so that if you do need to go hurry up later in the season or in a critical situation where you're trying to get the game-winning, game-tying type score, you need a hurry-up type offense. A little shocked that we haven't seen that in this fourth quarter, a little sense of urgency from them. But again, not to affect the outcome, but to affect the process going forward.
Setting up for 1st and 10. Reminder once again, last year it was big-time scores in both the matchups, if you remember. 60-7 and 52-17 were the scores for the Fratmen at that time. This play, meanwhile, is picked off by the Beefeaters. Or pardon me, complete rather.
Yeah, it was a completion.
Yes, Mike Mitchell spends, pardon me, there. That's enough for a first down either way.
It is enough. So you got a little bit of a read option. Quarterback's going to sprint out, throws it to the outside, gets right on the cones, does a little dipsy doodle. And like you said, all last season, they were blowouts. They were big wins. Fratmen only gave up 24 points against scoring 112. That is huge. And you add this score to the equation, my goodness, the Fratmen in any one of those games have tallied more points than the Beefeaters combined in all three.
3-minute warning now as the Beefeaters hand it off to Vane Bell. Vane Bell sheds 2 tackles, but is brought down at about the 13, maybe 14-yard line.
Please, just please get him off the field. He doesn't need to get hurt. He is so talented. He is. That's a great run. He's shifty in space, but a running back like that, he gets rolled up on his ankle, gets that high ankle sprain, you're out 6 to 8 weeks. You can't recover when you need your speed and your cut and your quickness to cut like that. But maybe they just don't have a viable alternative. Not sure. I just don't like the concept of keeping him in when it's this lopsided.
1st and 2nd and 1 rather as Vane Bell pushes forward, has the first down as it'll be 1st and goal. And Vane Bell continues to add to his rushing totals. He had over 100 yards rushing and 67 receiving yards last week. This week, already adding big-time numbers to those totals right in front of the Windsor faithful.
Yeah, but moving forward, you can call these numbers stats, but it doesn't matter. I think he's too valuable in the big picture to be using him like this. Save your legs, save the hits. You want to beat this team, you need your best players.
Alan Carruthers setting up on the right side. As Van Bell tackled for a gain of about 2. So it'll be 2nd and goal at about the 7.
But, Justin, I guess that's why I'm up in the booth.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not on the field making the decisions. These coaches know their players. I just know I hate the long ride home. I hate losing. London, at least it's not super long ride. It's only a couple hours away from here. But they're going to leave here with a very sour taste in their note, whether they score or not, because they played a terrible 10 minutes to open the game and a terrible 10 minutes to open the second half, and that cost them big time, and the Fratmen made them pay in a hurry.
Bunched up offense on the left side for 2nd and goal. Vane Bell trying to get to the corner on the toss. Sheds a tackle to the end zone. Touchdown, Beefeaters. So Vane Bell's been the offense tonight. His 3rd touchdown.
Yeah, and I just hope those that make the final decision as to who the offensive players of the game are don't just look at the numbers. Yes, talent, he is good, and probably will be an all-star this year. Nice run, another touchdown, 3 touchdowns. Like I said, probably approaching 200 yards total. But he wasn't a factor in this game. I'm sorry, he just wasn't. Dan Mayu was a factor in this game. You could argue that Devin Woods in the first half, having 100 yards on 2 catches, was a bigger factor in the game. Omar Hayes-Williams, like the Fratmen, as you see on the scoreboard, at 55-21, it was really, these last 2 scores don't mean too much with 1:28 to go. So I hope when they do decide to look at who the players of the weeks are, and with all due respect to Van Bell, it should not be him, given the dynamic of this game. The dynamic of this game has been the Fratmen dominated. Van Bell had a good game. He's a talent. They're going to need him later, but tonight wasn't his night.
I definitely agree with you that it wasn't their night. Because really, he had some big plays, yes. But their coaching staff, Coach Marshall told me earlier on that he felt that he opens up the offense for the passing game, for McCallum. And they haven't really had that happen today. As they'll go for another onside kick, this one picked up by the AKO Fratmen, as they'll push across to about the 50. And this should be the last drive of the game here.
Yeah, we have an injury on the field from the visitors, and the young man threw his helmet right off and was rolling around. I think he was reaching for a lower leg. Let's hope it's nothing too serious.
Yeah, and right now everyone preparing as the training staff checks him out along the sideline. Again, never want to see anyone hurt, especially this late into a ball game.
Yeah, but the big measuring stick now, for the Fratmen, they have to go to Hamilton for their next game. So looking forward to that matchup there. That's going to tell this coaching staff for the home team whether they're on the right track. I don't think they necessarily have to win the game to prove anything. What I think they have to do is they have to go match up against Hamilton, and they have to give themselves the opportunity to win. Win in the playoffs, that's the ultimate goal. But you got to go in, you got to do your homework, you got to set the tone, you got to limit your mistakes, and you got to compete for 4 quarters. You can't let them get away. So Hamilton is the next game on the road. So the next time this broadcast comes, there's a good chance as we're about to go to commercial as we break from this injury here.
Way back in
Windsor started a tradition way back of giving us great barbecue north of the border, and you can taste that tradition when you come to Tommy's Barbecue. Dive into Tommy's rotisserie-style ribs and chicken, along with the crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, and the original hot and sweet sauces. Plus all those amazing desserts like Black Forest cake and strawberry cheesecake. Taste the tradition and so much more at Tommy's Barbecue, 999 Erie Street East. See you there, Windsor.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OPSA football. As the injured player is taken off the sideline, that is Quinn Corrado, who is now being brought and evaluated by the training staff by the London Beefeaters with 1:22 to go on the clock. Fratmen set up for what should be their final drive of the game. Allen, he's going to pass on 1st and 10. Gets it to Ryan. Ryan shoves his way forward to about the 25 for a big gain.
Yeah, there are virtually backups in at every position. I think they have maybe 2 starting offensive linemen left, probably because they have to. Every receiver is a backup right now, and their entire backfield's a backup. And frankly, Colton Allen's a backup. He didn't start the game. I'm okay with them throwing. They got to practice. Colton Allen, like I said earlier, he earned the right to play this quarter. So play the quarter. Let him develop too.
They're switching around the slot backs, meanwhile, on the right side of Allen. Allen looks to the right, towards the end zone to Ryan. Couldn't hold on to the ball as it's incomplete.
Yeah, Yeah, an incomplete pass. The little ball was a little underthrown. I think if he gets that over his outside shoulder, he gives his receiver a chance. You'll see here on the replay. Just like to see this ball get to the outside. He had to try to undercut the defensive back there, and there's too much foot traffic there. He slipped, and with the ball being underthrown, couldn't corral that in, as it's going to bring up a second down and 10. And again, I probably expect Coach LaChance to go for it. He's gone for it on third down from about this field position anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if he did run some sort of counter inside run with his fullback right here. But give Colton Allen the ball. Let him do some magic.
2nd and 10 at the 25. Allen looks to the right again. Calls that sides number again as it's incomplete. Intended that time for Kyle LaFontaine.
I think two receivers were in the same area. So I think something went wrong from these young receivers, these backup receivers, because I think two were on top of each other there. So the reason why you want to execute and you want to do these, even if it is late in the game and people wondering why are they throwing the ball, like you see both number 80 and number 13. You see Ryan and LaFontaine beside each other. Coach LaChance can use that to teach and say, you guys were not supposed to be there. So it's important for them to get their reps too.
Going forward on 3rd and 10. Allen bobbles the snap. Still scrambling to see who has it. Either way, it's London possession. And that was a very low snap there that caused that botched play on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it was low, but I mean, I think Colton Allen could have handled it. But you know what? I'm going to give him a little credit. He didn't dive in there to try to recover that ball. And with all due respect, I'm not saying you shouldn't try to recover a fumble. If he dives in there and he gets his his arm landed on, he could break his arm and he can't throw anymore. There's 35 seconds left in the game. Know where you are in the game. Turn the ball over. Just live to play another day. Maybe that was his thought process. So if anyone's wondering why he didn't try to recover that, I think that was very smart on his part. Another coaching point for him to sort of learn, don't do this, try to do that. Okay, if it's a championship game, last game of the year, a little bit different. But here, didn't need to try to jump there and maybe get his arm landed on.
McCallum will set up for 1st and 10 of the 27. Going to hand it off to Vane Bell. Vane Bell to the right side. Tries to break across one tackle. Unable to shut him off. He's brought down to the 29. It'll be 2nd and about 7 for this next play.
Gets out to the 30-yard line.
Yep, exactly to the 30.
Yeah, so this might be the very last play of the game.
Yep, clock is rolling down, under 20 seconds to go in what has been a dominant one. For the past 3 matchups, the Fratmen have won a 52-17, a 60-7 game, and now they will win a 55-21 game pending how this last play goes. And they'll just take the safe knee. They'll end things off tonight. The Windsor AKL Fratmen secured 2nd place in the OFC and moved to 3-1.
Yeah, and now the big test. Now, can they come off of being possibly embarrassed? Some people looked at that and said they were embarrassed on their home field a couple weeks ago, against Hamilton. So they're going to try to spoil the party up at Tim Hortons Field when they have to travel there next week. So the Fratmen have their work cut out for them. A great score here, but now they have to move on and see what they can do against that Hamilton team that is sitting atop the standings.
And that's going to be a very crucial matchup for sure, as handshakes all around here on WeTV. We'll have your post-game coverage in just a few moments. You're watching WeTV for Ontario Football Conference action. Fratmen win 55-21.
Hi, I'm Luke Wilson of the Detroit Lions. For the best local sports programming, make sure to tune in to WeTV.
We is the premier video streaming production company in southwestern Ontario. We are We Digital. We are busy. I mean really busy. We Digital is now recruiting hardworking, creative team players to try out for our team. Camera operators, audio specialists, web and social media geeks, hosts, media students, and some that just want to learn the ropes. Send us a resume, a demo reel with your best work, along with a cover letter that will snag an interview with our producers. Streaming is the future. Come and be part of what's next.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor, Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
All right, welcome back to Alumni Field, where the Fratmen go up 3-1 into the standings, joined by the head coach of the Fratmen, Mike Lachance. And Mike, it was basically like same versus last week. You picked up 2 touchdowns immediately right in the beginning of the game. Talk about that.
Yeah, we talked about it all week. I wanted to be real aggressive with get up on this. I don't think there's too. Certainly, we showed that speed. Devin back makes us also want to get up and then let a lot of guys play. And today, everybody got to play. So
I was about to bring up Devin Woods. He picked up a primo touchdown and a good first down run early on in the first half. So I guess it's safe to say that even though he's been gone for a couple of weeks, he was able to mend into his system immediately.
He's an elite athlete, and he played last year for us. It wasn't a matter of getting acclimated to things. It was just the best pieces to his next to Omar, and it was comfortable. So
next week, you guys play against the Hamilton Hurricanes onto the road. How much growth have you seen from this team since the beginning of the season?
A ton. I mean, we're a completely different team than we were last time we played Hamilton. That being said, they're a different animal than the teams we've played the last 3 weeks. They're the real deal. It'll be a huge test for us, especially on the road.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Good luck to you, Coach. Thanks. Congratulations. That's the head coach of the Fratmen, Mike Lachance, and we are out of here. We invite you to tune in for the next Fratmen home game, which is on the 30th, where the Fratmen will host the GTA Grizzlies. That will be 1 p.m. kickoff time. So once again, thank you for tuning in. On behalf of the whole crew here, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.